Days from 11 to 1. It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings as we kick off the new work week on this Monday, March 30th, 2026. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Jay Ham with you. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. We can't thank them enough for being a part of our station for many, many years and hopefully many more years to come. We got an extremely busy show for you today. The Final Four is now set. We'll talk about the dramatics of Duke and Connecticut here in just a second. First of all, weather-wise, 64 degrees currently. It's going to get up to 80 today. Will be breezy once again, but very warm with clouds and sun. Mixed, breezy this evening, otherwise mainly clear and warm. And it looks like it'll be pretty much ditto for tomorrow. Wednesday, the clouds start to come in. Temperatures in the mid-80s tomorrow and Wednesday. And then we got rain in the forecast. Thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, rain Saturday, Sunday. At least right now, that's the early forecast. So it looks like nice weather the early part of the week and then rain towards the end of the week and, unfortunately, for the weekend. As I said, the Final Four is set. We'll have the national semifinals this Saturday. The national championship game will be 1 week from tonight. We will discuss. We got other college basketball news, coaching news, including some news involving the University of Memphis. The women nearly have their Final Four. They got half of it, and they'll get the other half tonight. Also, from the NBA, the Grizzlies played a couple of games. They're back in action tonight. They also made another roster move, unfortunately another injury that will take out one of their players for the remaining games of the season. Not a long way to go, but still the hits just keep on coming. We'll talk some other NBA as well. Major League Baseball, first weekend of the regular season, some highlights from that. And of course, the alarming news involving Tiger Woods from Friday with his DUI arrest after the vehicular crash in South Florida, and also the rollover of his vehicle. But we will discuss about, unfortunately, deja vu all over again for one Tiger Woods. And we did, speaking of golf, have just a great moment over the weekend down in Houston, Texas. Matt Reiser will join us at 9:05, as he does every week during the baseball season, to talk some Tigers baseball. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissies Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. So lots to get to. Basketball heavy today. We welcome you to the program. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great weekend.
I did have a very good weekend. Weather was beautiful. Very nice to get outside and do some things, and and some great basketball as well. So it was a fun weekend.
Jay Ham, how was your weekend?
Really solid, fun, entertaining weekend. Watched a lot of basketball.
Did you get out a little bit and take advantage of the weather?
I just washed my truck a little bit. Just did a little bit something that got a little fresh air, but nothing too heavy.
Yeah, I didn't get to see a lot of the basketball only because, and I'm talking about the college basketball, because I was doing the Tigers games against Wichita State. But I got home in time to put on the Connecticut-Duke game with probably 12 or so minutes to go.
Right when they started the run.
Right when they started the run. And when I saw the score, when I was over at the baseball, and I saw the score, and I was like, oh, my gosh. They are pummeling UConn. This is over. And to watch what transpired, to see what I thought was, if not the greatest, well, a lot of people would say the Leitner shot, but as far as great shots in the history of basketball, the history of college basketball specifically, the Braylon Mullins shot will go down as one of the greatest. And while you got to give Connecticut all kinds of credit, Dan Hurley and that team, for the way they came back, the plays they made, and I will give them the credit. I still think this is one of the greatest meltdowns of all time. It's always a combination of a team collapsing to some degree and another team coming back. It's usually not 100% one or the other. But to me, Eli, I would lean more towards this was a Duke collapse down the stretch, critical turnovers. The last play, just hold on to the ball. I don't understand what's going on. Yes, young players, certainly the Boozers are young, and it's not all their fault, but certainly they were in the middle of it. UConn, some would say, just took it away. I say that Duke gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a combination of both. I mean, UConn dug the hole because they, literally couldn't make a shot. That changed in the second half. They started making shots. They weren't going to come back if they didn't do that. I mean, 1 of 18 from 3-point range to start the game, and then make 4 of their last 5, including the 2 huge ones down the stretch. Caravan, who had not made one, who was 0 for 5 from 3, he hits the big one to pull him within 1. Mullins was 0 for 4 before he hits that one to win the game. So certainly just the ability finally to make some shots was a part of it, but you're not going to come back from 19 down, especially against a team the caliber of Duke, without help from them. I mean, it requires some help, and Duke was able to give that to them. And that last possession, I mean, I feel bad for Caden Boozer, because that's something that he'll never be able to forget or live down. Basically, you will always, that highlight's going to be shown forever and ever. And it's just a horrendous decision on his part. He literally could have done anything else with the basketball and they win the game in all likelihood.
Or do nothing with the basketball,
he
right?
He chose to try and throw it up court. And I just don't know why, or you just never know what exactly is going to happen in those moments and how kids will react. And it was a panic moment, and it's one that, that is a tough one for him to try and live with, because that he'll never be able to. If ever watching the NCAA tournament for the rest of history, he will see his play.
Jay Ham, it may not be as bad, but it's certainly up there with the Fred Brown pass.
That's where I was going. It was Fred Brown all over again, where Fred Brown panicked. He was just in that moment. He didn't know where to go. He just gave the ball to James Worthy.
Right.
He just gave the ball to Taurus Reed in UConn. Really, like you said, he could have just held on to it. I went back to my old coaches, give me a pump fake and step around with the pass, or pump fake, dribble around. Either one goes, but kill the clock.
Yeah,
hold on to the basketball.
He could have thrown the ball straight in the air.
That's what I said. Throw it up to the rafters.
He could have easily thrown it to Cam Boozer, because they all left Booth. After he got rid of the ball, they all left him. He could have thrown it back that way. Cam Boozer, there was no need to advance the basketball over half court. You just, like I said, you could just hold on to it, let them foul you, whatever. There was anything in the world he could have done. He chose the one thing
not to kill Caden any further, but if I was John, I probably would have had Caleb in the game in that spot. Catching the basketball. That's my captain. That's my quarterback. I'm going to roll with him. As great as Caden displayed in the tournament, I would have went that way. I also, where Cam Boozer received the inbounds, that would have been Isaiah Evans. That's my best free throw shooter.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
I gave him the ball right there, but it was just that panic situation from 2 18-year-old freshmen.
Exactly. He saw 2 of his teammates behind the defense. He thought, I'll just chuck it over there. And what a play by Demery. Mullins was there as well, but what a play by Demery. I think he got the deflection. And then Caravan, to not force it and to give it up to the kid, Mullins, the freshman, who drills it from 35 feet, whatever it was.
And Isaiah didn't even raise his hand up. He was still in shock that how do we not have the basketball?
How about the reaction, not only from the fans, they had the reaction from the broadcast team with Bill Raftery and Grant Hill. Oh, my gosh. I mean, people thought Grant Hill, to me, looked like he saw a ghost. Of course, being a Dookie, he was in absolute shock. Raftery turned white. I mean, I was worried there for a
I
second.
thought we were going to lose Bill for a second.
I know. It was just, it was amazing. And we have these moments, right? We have these amazing moments in the NCAA tournament over the years. But this one, and it's not hyperbole, that shot is one of the greatest shots ever in history. And I'll stick with what I said. That is one of the greatest meltdowns in history. They led this game by 19 points. By 19 points. As you said, Eli, UConn could not find the ocean from the pier. They couldn't make any threes. But down the stretch, what did they do? First of all, they protected the basketball. They only committed 5 turnovers. Second of all, Karaban, who had a really bad game shooting the ball, hit a big 3. How about the Demery off the turnover, the bucket, and the bang? Like I said, that wasn't the only Duke turnover. They had 3 critical turnovers down the stretch. Solo Ball made plays. They were all chipping in. And there are people, look, Dan Hurley is a polarizing figure. I like Dan Hurley. I like fiery coaches. I like those guys who get in your face and they love you. Behind closed doors, you better believe he loves his guys.
That's my kind of coach.
Yep, Calipari. You can go right down the list of these guys. They want to be coached like that. And this guy, I mean, even Dan Hurley had to have thought, there's no way. And how about Bob Hurley Sr. and his mom in the crowd? Oh, my. It's just, we had 3 games over the weekend in the Elite Eight. 2 of them were close for the first half, and then it went the other way in the second half. There was one that was an absolute blowout, which we'll talk about, Michigan over Tennessee. But it made up for it with this game.
No, I mean, it was obviously historic stuff, and there's the symmetry of both Duke and North Carolina going out of the NCAA tournament, blowing 19-point leads.
In a similar fashion, yeah.
Is quite interesting that those 2 schools end up doing that. But number 1 seeds all time when leading by 15 or more at halftime were 134-0. Duke was 27-0 when leading by 15 or more at halftime in the NCAA tournament in their history. I mean, there's, again, I mean, you're talking about the number 1 team in the nation, like the idea of blowing that type of lead, even against a good team like UConn. It's shocking. And again, it takes help. And, Cameron Boozer was fantastic doing his thing. He was able to score and do everything. He was pretty much the only guy there for a long time that was doing anything. And the 2 Boozers themselves basically outscoring UConn almost by themselves in that first half. I mean, it just was shocking to watch that team give up that lead just because they're so darn good. You figure there's just no way that could happen.
The 2 Boozers, and you're right, Cam ends up with 27, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. But the 2 Boozers combined for 7 turnovers. That's 2 more than Connecticut had as a team. And like I said, several of them down the stretch, which were critical, including the last one, which led to the 35-foot shot. But Caden Boozer had 3, Cam Boozer had 4, so they had 7 of the turnovers. But again, you're right. If it wasn't for the Boozers, who knows what would have happened in that first half. But Connecticut, they didn't have their offense going. And they figured it out in the second half and down the stretch in crunch time, as Connecticut usually does. Duke had Caleb Foster back. He came back in the Elite Eight game. He played 14 minutes, so they got a little bit of a bonus of having him, although he didn't do much. Gangba was playing again, as he has been now, but 6 points in 22 minutes, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Not too bad. So they had their full array of guys. But, my gosh, Karaban, Terrace Reed, the most outstanding player of that region, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. That guy has earned himself a lot of money in the NBA. But like I said, down the stretch, they all made plays. Demery, Ball, Mullins, Reed, Karaban, all made big plays. Gosh, it's just unbelievable what Connecticut is doing. Once again, they'll have the women and the men in the Final Four. Those basketball programs, and you scratch your head and you go, how does that happen?
A double blue blood system they have going on.
It's just amazing. And, people say, well, they don't put much stock into football. Well, maybe not, but the football team over the last few years has made bowl games. So they're not a laughing stock.
They're not hurting about it.
Right. I mean, and we heard about all the financial strife, and then there was the law. Wasn't there the lawsuit with Kevin Ollie? There was some kind of issue there. But my gosh, it doesn't matter whether it's Calhoun, Ollie, now Dan Hurley. They just win, and they win the highest prize.
And I think the fact that they made everything squared up with Kevin Ollie allowed them to just continue on.
Right.
They got the dead out of the way, back, the dark cloud, and let's continue on. Let's go with Dan Hurley, and we'll continue to move.
And it was great to hear Hurley, who talked about not only Calhoun, but Ollie and others that really have laid the foundation for what UConn basketball is. And then there's Duke, where unless you're a Duke fan, you're probably... Now, Connecticut, I wonder how long it will take before fans start to turn on Connecticut, probably because of Hurley. But when they're playing Duke, unless you're a Dookie, you're rooting for Connecticut.
Anytime you got Duke on the floor, unless, like you said, unless you're a Dookie, the people are going to be against them regardless of the situation.
It's amazing when Carolina lost, how many of the Dookie fans I had that texted me. And then when Duke lost, the Carolina fans.
And I would have just told them, look, y'all are right up the street from each other. Don't send this to me. Deal with each other.
Yeah, it's there's some, I hate to use the term hatred, but there's hatred going on. But anyway, Connecticut is in the Final Four. They knock off Duke. I didn't even care because, once I lost with Arkansas and Arizona, beat the heck out of them, I'd say, okay, my bracket, I don't care. Even though I got Michigan still to win it, and I think they still have a good chance to beat Arizona. We'll talk about that in a second, and win it. I had them beating Duke. I was like, I don't care. I don't care about that. I care to see great basketball and to see that finish, to see one of the great finishes of all time. That is a Leitner type finish. And to get into the Final Four with that finish. And how about the kid? How about the freshman? Let's talk about Braylon Mullins. Another great shooter. They're out there. You got to be able to recruit them. You got to be able to find them. But you go out there and you get shooters. Anytime you got shooters. Caravan had a bad shooting day and then came back into 3 late, but he's been great his entire career for Connecticut. Shooters matter. You see him all up and down the NCAA tournament. You see him with the teams that are still alive.
Yeah, and it's again pretty key skill in basketball. Actually, pretty good. Put the ball in the hoop. Mullins was a big time recruit, and that's obviously a big time shot. He's an Indiana kid, so hitting that shot to send his team to the Final Four in Indianapolis as an Indiana kid. I mean, and you become an all time legendary player. Again, for him, it's the opposite of Caden Boozer. He now, for the rest of his life, gets to watch the NCAA tournament and see himself hitting that shot.
He wants to see his highlight.
It's just like Bryce Drew or anybody else. When you hit those types of shots, you then get to relive it every single year for the rest of your life just by watching the NCAA tournament, because it will always be shown. And I can't even imagine what that would be like for a kid like that, or for, again, a freshman from Indiana hitting that shot to send your team to Indianapolis. It's just, it's amazing stuff.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk about the other games that took place in the Elite Eight. Also, some of the Friday Sweet 16 action. We'd love to hear from you as well. I said it's one of the biggest choke jobs I've ever seen. Of course, like I said, also that it has to be a combination. Certainly, Connecticut did the things to take it from Duke to win that game. But when you have a 19-point lead, you're in total control, and you lose it, and you make the mistakes that you did down the stretch, all you had to do was hold on to the ball. To me, it's an all-time choke. Are there others that come to mind for you? If you'd like to comment, Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines are open to you at 901-360-8255. We'll get to that right after the timeout. One of our great sponsors is Town Village Audubon Park. Senior living in today's world, located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They are dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for the residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. So if you're thinking about your golden years or the golden years of a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, whatever the case may be, think Town Village Audubon Park. 901-537-0002. That's the number to call. Set up a tour or go online to find out more about them at townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay available. Monthly options may be the way to go. Great event schedule, activities galore for the residents, everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. Basic services include monthly rental with no buy-in. Apartments include full kitchen, washer, and dryer. That excludes the efficiency apartments. All-inclusive resort-style dining with multiple venues, bi-weekly housekeeping, outpatient therapy, community amenities, a social area, community social area that has everything. Fitness center, home theater, game rooms, indoor pool, whirlpool, bistro, fruit stand, 24-hour pantry, beauty salon, library, computer center. It's all there in the community social area. 5 landscape courtyards, resident gardening areas, recreational, religious, social, and wellness activities, dog park, gated parking. They thought of everything at Town Village Audubon Park. Call them at 901-537-0002 or online at townvillageaudubonpark.com. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code OWN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code OWN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code OWN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's heavier than it was 15, 20 minutes ago. Coming inbound on Sam Cooper as you come past Perkins. Right when you come off the interstate there on I-40 onto Sam Cooper. We've watched that volume of traffic increase quite a bit, not only there, but trying to push up through Midtown on 240, especially northbound up by Lamar. That's only going to get heavier probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. Bridal season just around the corner. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, conveniently located 7525 Highway 64. Stop by this week. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning!
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:26 is the time. So at least another game for Bill Murray as a UConn fan. Of course, his son Luke, assistant coach with the Huskies, will be taking over at Boston College. But at least one, maybe two.
That's right.
Bill Murray having fun last night after the victory with the UConn band. We got some Memphis Tigers coaching news that we'll get to a little bit later on, but we'll continue with the games over the weekend in the Elite Eight. Started out on Saturday with the all Big Ten affair, the Corn Belt, as Eli likes to say, Iowa, Illinois. This game, again, I wasn't able to watch it. I saw the score in the first half, and it looked like I thought that Iowa had a great chance to win this game. They had the lead. And then in the second half, Illinois took control, ended up winning by 12. I think that game was a lot closer than the score would indicate. Free throws down the stretch. They put it away. So they end up winning, as I said, by 12, 71-59. Illinois into the Final Four. What a job by Brad Underwood and his staff. And those players, a lot of them international players. And then, of course, there's Keaton Wagler, 25 points, who is expected to be top 6, top 7, top 8 maybe at most in the draft coming up in June. Bennett Sturtz, the great shooter for Iowa, finished up with 24 points. He was brilliant. But Illinois just a little too much for Iowa. And Ben McCollum, who did a great job with the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it's not easy to win a game. Going 3 of 17 from three-point range, and the other team makes 8 more threes than you. But Illinois was able to do that. Wagler was fantastic once again. He's really is. It's a pretty amazing story. I mean, for a guy who wasn't even a top 100 recruit, nobody knew who the heck he was. There weren't many programs offering him.
He was a 3-star, right?
And now going to be a top 10 pick in the NBA draft after 1 year of college basketball. I mean, you just don't, that doesn't happen. Like, you just don't see guys come out of nowhere and go one and done and become a top 10 pick.
It's unusual. It's happened, but it's very unusual. You're right about this guy. He came out of nowhere. I think he was a 3-star.
I honestly don't know who else. Like, I don't know of anybody else that I'm sure that maybe there has, but I don't know of guys who weren't top 100 recruits who after 1 year became a top 10 draft pick. Like, it doesn't happen.
As I could think of people that did it, made a jump in the season, but they weren't freshmen.
Yeah, let's say maybe a 3 or 4 year college career, but the idea of doing it from as one and done, from not even top 100, I don't even know where he was ranked in the class, to a top 10 draft pick in the NBA is crazy.
Just even the thought of anybody that made that kind of jump, I think like a Tyrus Thomas who had a great tournament and jumped the lottery, top 5 or whatever the case. But
there were guys obviously that weren't 4 and 5 star guys who went on to become NBA players, but he's right. Probably the combination of 1 year top 10 pick.
Right.
Yes. We'll have to do our research, but it's probably not likely that that's happened. But there have been guys that have come out of nowhere.
I don't think their research would be that extensive.
I mean, maybe it is. Nothing comes to mind of. I mean, guys, again, one and dones. Just one and dones generally are top 50 recruits. They're just a guy that's not even a top 100 to be one and done, let alone go one and done and a top 10 pick.
And he was playing great prior to that, but that day he went for 43 in West Lafayette. Mm-hmm. That was the one that made him mainstream, and he continued to play well on top of that. So it's like when he got the 40 ball that day, now we have a target on him. And then he continued to showcase in fantastic manner to be worthy of the top 10 selection.
What do you think of Sturtz in the NBA?
He'll fit.
I think so too.
Player, skilled, he'll fit.
That's somebody that probably you'll be getting in the end of the first round, maybe even early second round.
And the dangerous part about those particular picks is that those guys go to good teams and they're ready to contribute immediately.
What, San Antonio is going to get another one?
Oklahoma City, maybe.
Oh, don't say it. Don't say it. All right, so Illinois, great season. Underwood's a really good coach, and they get there. When was the last time Illinois was Final Four?
2005.
Yeah, say whatever year that was.
So 21 years for Illinois. Okay. Arizona, who, again, many believe is the best team in college basketball. They showed it again. Early on, Purdue had a lead. I think the lead maybe was 6. I was watching that game before I had to take off. And then it was just, you talk about a deep team with players at every single position, and that is Arizona. Physical, athletic. Braden Smith early on was willing his Boilermakers, the littlest guy on the court, 13.7 assists. I had my buddy text me. He goes, I had no idea the Amish played basketball. I don't think he's Amish. He just has a beard. But 13.7 assists. He hit a couple of threes. Early on, I'm thinking maybe Purdue can do this because I had him in the Final Four. But Koa Pete ended up with 20 and 7. Really good game for Koa Pete. Wasn't a big game for Burries, but you have him. You got the 2 foreign guys who are just electric. The guard, what's the guard's name?
Jaden Bradley.
No. Bradley's great, but I'm talking about the other great guy from Europe.
Korchenkov, yeah.
He looks like he was made in a lab. Yeah. He's a freshman. Mm-hmm. Physical as hell. Oh, my God. Takes a beating, gets up, gives a beating. That is just, I don't know how they lost the game.
Their first 7, I think, will all play in the NBA.
I think you're right. I think there's a great chance. Yeah, Bradley's a great leader, and he's like the 3rd or 4th guy we rattle off when we're and the big guy? Krivas at 7'2"? Mm-hmm. I will break you.
I saw your tweet about Krivas as well, and I'm like, it's just a matter of who gets him and what they want to do with him.
Yeah, so my for those who don't follow me, my tweet was basically, are we looking at another Plumlee, or are we looking at somebody like Klinging or somebody with a little more athleticism? I don't see him particularly as a guy knocking down threes. He seems like he's a back-to-the-basket big. Is there still the need for the back-to-the-basket bigs in the NBA today?
Absolutely. But it don't help that, it helps, of course, if he can able to stretch the floor and step out and knock down a 3, or you have guys on the bench that can do that he can't do that, just either way. But back to the basket players, yeah.
When you're 7'2",
yeah,
you can't teach 7'2". That team is just, it's special,
that'll get you Hasheem Thabeet, too.
Yes,
telling you.
Yes, it doesn't always work
can't
out.
Teach 7'2" thinking that doesn't always work. 7'2" doesn't always work either.
It doesn't. There's no guarantees with anything. There's no guarantees that Cam Boozer is going to be a good player in the NBA. I think he will be.
Second half by Arizona was just. It was like They're just. And the thing was, at halftime when Purdue was up by 7, they needed to be up by 15 because the first half they were making everything. Like you shoot threes like that, and they were dominating on the boards. Like they needed it to be a 15-point lead at halftime, and when it was only 7, you're kind of like, there's no way they're going to continue to shoot threes like that. Like you just do like, there's no way that's going to happen. Didn't know it'd be as bad as it was necessarily in the second half, and Braden Smith wouldn't be able to make a shot really at all in the second half. But you're like, there's no way that can continue, and Arizona is going to be much better in the second half. And then, sure enough, like they just looked so. That second half is so dominant.
Well, the other thing, Kaufman-Wren was terrible. He got into foul trouble. They needed Kaufman-Wren to be his best, and we've seen this guy play so many big games, but he was not good
in his match.
Yeah, he ran into these bigs, these physical guys. He got the second foul was a stupid foul. He ends up 5 of 14 from the field, and he's got that little push shot. 10 points. He really was no factor. I mean, Clough went 14 and 10. At least he went 14 and 10, but it wasn't enough. They don't have enough, man. You look at that 8-man rotation for Arizona, just too strong. Burry's quiet game, he still had 14 points, 6 rebounds. Bradley had 14 points, 6 assists. Krivas had 6 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. Pete, as I mentioned, 20 and 7. What is it again? Korchenkov, 18 points, 8 rebounds. They're all contributed. That's a team that's and we'll talk about the Final Four matchups. I think Michigan's got a great chance to beat them, but Arizona looks like a machine right now. As I said, I don't know how they lost.
It's
during
hard
the regular season.
I was talking about it's hard for Arizona to really have a bad night shooting because they don't shoot a bunch of threes. Like they're
getting layups
constantly in the paint, and then they get to the free throw line. So it's just hard for them to have a whole game where they just don't shoot the basketball well because you're shooting from 4 or 5 feet all the time. You're going to generally shoot pretty well.
And like you just mentioned, they're generating high percentage shots on the offensive end with ease. They're executing it.
Because all of them can do it. That's the thing. Like all of those guys, that's the thing. You get worried about Burries or Bradley breaking you down off the dribble, and then all of a sudden they find Pete, or it's Korchenkov on it. Like you're just like, you can't. It's hard to try and guard all of those guys. Like they're all good offensively. Krivas isn't that great, but he's just so big. He hangs around the rim, and when the other guys get in there, they can set him up for easy layups and dunks.
And Toby Awaka does all of the dirty work.
Yes, he does. He's a physical specimen. And to your point, even with Krivas, they make 20 of 22 free throws.
Oh, yeah.
They not only get to the free throw line, they make free throws. But is something like that you can't see that consistently in the NBA because you have to make threes in the NBA? Like, why is there not an NBA team in this day and age that maybe says, the hell with the threes, we're going to the hole? We're going to get buckets inside. We're going to put a team together like that, and we're going to get to the free throw line. Is it because you can only play so well defensively on the perimeter, guarding the other guy's threes, and threes better than 2?
That, and I think the way you can defend in the league from a strategic and rule standpoint, where you can not necessarily sit in a zone, but use zone principles, and they can kind of cut off a lot of lanes to drive and pack it in. And then, like easy, you want to go to the block, but then you can pack the paint in the block, and it's only one shot. If you're going to pack the paint, only one shot that you really can get. That's the wide open 3.
Yeah, and it's also you just got Arizona generally is more talented than every team they play. In the NBA, you're not going to be every night overwhelming talent. So they can just go we're going to get to the basket because we're better than you at pretty much every position. But at least on pretty much any given night, they're probably going to be better than their opponent at least 3 positions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so in the NBA, that's not going to be the case on a nightly basis. Arizona's really damn good. I think they're playing the national championship game in their next game. And I've said all along, I think they're the 2 best teams. I wish it was the championship, which they would have been opposite sides of the bracket. But Michigan's one of the teams that can match up with them talent wise. You look at the matchups and go, yeah, no, that's pretty equal
almost
talent.
Even to a man.
But what do they all have aside from talent?
Physicality, great coaching. I mean, we shoot the ball.
We talk about Memphis. That was such a weak team physically.
Yeah.
you have to go out there and get some hosses. Yeah. You have to get guys out there that are going to throw their weight around like these teams do.
And I like what you said last week. Some guys with some buzz because they can shoot the ball.
It's not a bad thing. All right, so the Tennessee-Michigan game was never close. I give credit again. Tennessee, Rick Barnes puts together a very competitive team that makes a strong run every year, but they don't get to the Final Four. He puts together a combination of some strength, some big guys that play well, more athletic, I think, than just physical specimens like Akpara, but they always have NBA guys. I thought, once again, the moment maybe a little too big for him as a freshman. We see other freshmen that have certainly seized the moment. There's something he needs to get stronger. I am not in love with him. He will eventually be an NBA player that could be really productive for a team because of his size and his skills. 7 points on 2 of 12 shooting, 0 of 3 from 3. That doesn't help you. Now, Gillespie had a big game. He was 8 of 22. He had 21 points. But a lot of those were plastic points. It didn't matter. This game was over. Yaxel Lendeborg, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, leading them once again. Yaxel Lendeborg, the guy that played for UAB, who put up numbers but could not beat Memphis.
That man looks like a baby LeBron right now.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, look. Sometimes
and he loves to dunk on people, man. He is not afraid to just go, I'm coming, and you either get out of my way or get dunked on.
I do like that Jacoby Gillespie got him yesterday, too, though.
Yeah.
Got him tough.
I remember when Memphis first played Lendeborg, and I didn't hesitate. I go, that's an NBA guy. And I know there was like a debate. Like, people, I don't think, believed at first Lendeborg was an NBA guy. I knew sometimes you get them right, sometimes you get them wrong. That one,
I was with you.
Oh, man, nailed it from the beginning. I go, what is that guy doing on UAB? If UAB had any semblance of like a supplementary couple of players, they would have been really good. Memphis beat them every time. Lendeborg put up his like 18 and 12, but you can see the frustration when he played Memphis. And he is now crushing it.
And he's having so much fun. You can see it in his face.
J.M., how high do you go in the draft if you're a team with Lendeborg?
I think he's raising his stock to lottery. He was just, on the mocks that I saw, he was just outside of it, around 15, 20, somewhere in there. I was seeing a lot of that. I think he's working his way up into that. I mean, I know that the league doesn't really, they're not too high on drafting 23-year-olds that high. I understand, but a guy like that can help your team immediately, why wouldn't you?
So if I told you right now you can have either Acuff or you're the Grizzlies, Acuff or Wagler and Yaxel Lendeborg.
That's right.
You'd sign up right now,
That's
right? Eli, you'd sign up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would have no problem with Yaxel as a Grizzly. Like the dude he's got a lot of everything you kind of want out of NBA guys now. I mean, the versatility and the ability to step outside, but also go to the rim. He's strong as hell, athletic as hell. Yeah, I would have no problem. Randy had texted in. He said, would Jeremy Sohan qualify as a player who was not a top 100 prospect, played only 1 year at college? He was drafted number 9 overall in 2022. Although the thing with Sohan is he was an international guy, so I don't even I don't know I don't even know if he was ranked at all. I don't think they rank those guys in the recruiting rankings.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing that you're thinking. It's kind of it's different.
Yeah, because he played some high school basketball here, but then left because of COVID and went over. He played his high school, so I don't even know.
It's kind of like LaMelo Ball a little bit. Played and steered, then he went over to wherever he was.
He played some pro ball over there before coming to play college. So I don't even know that the recruiting rankings would have recruited. I don't know what he would have been had they ranked him, but I don't think he would have even been ranked at all because he was an international prospect that was playing pro ball. So I don't know, but obviously he's a guy that came out of nowhere. People didn't know who he was necessarily, and then ended up being a top 10 pick after 1 year. So it's certainly a good example. But again, I just have no idea if he would even be ranked at all because he was international.
But speaking of international, and Connecticut not as much this year, but we've seen it in the past. But you look at Arizona, you look at Illinois, you look at the teams in the Final Four, you look at the teams in the Elite Eight. All of them had international players, at least one, some 2 and 3, that were part of the rotation. Why? Well, it's not that we're saying just, international players are better than American players, but those international players that have professional experience, that have played against men since they were 13, they're more mature. They have been through it a lot more than guys even that have gone through the ranks of EYBL and all that. They've played these dudes that have beards since, you know what I mean? These guys that have families that are 28, 30 years old in Europe, in Spain, in France, wherever. You gotta, again, I go back to Memphis. Look at some of these international, especially Eastern Europe international players. Look at these guys.
It's a grown man tournament, and all what you're asking for is to supply the roster with grown men or guys that have competed against grown men.
But the door's open for it, right? They allow these professionals from Europe to come in. I know they have a problem with the whole the G League thing and all that, but they allow these European, not just Europeans, international players anywhere with professional experience to play. Why not seize that moment and get those guys if you can get them?
But that's the thing. It's not easy to get them. Like you talk, like there's a reason that they all kind of are on the same teams. Like those coaches and those staffs have developed those relationships over years and years and have those connections. Like it's not, and that's just me reading from other people in the recruiting world. They talk about like the Brad Underwoods of the world. Like this is his thing. Like him and his staff have developed this over years and years to have the connections and know who to get the right guys and all of that and find the scouts and people that you trust on who these guys are. And
absolutely.
It's like the Gonzagas and these different staffs. That's what they do. And so it's not easy to just jump into that and start going, hey, we're just going to go get a bunch of international guys and find the right ones.
No, but you could also find somebody connected internationally and put them on your staff. And we're going to talk about, there's a report now that Penny's completed his staff, and I don't see any guy like that fits that mold. I mean, you have to think outside the box.
Right, because I'm friends with some trainers, guys that train some of the international guys that come over. You guys may remember the guy, the kid that passed away at Memphis about, I think, 2019, 2020. He had leukemia. He was here on Tubby's regime, but he passed away right after Penny started. Kareem Salah was his name.
Okay. I didn't know he passed away.
One of my guys was one that linked him up and put him up with Tubby. And that's like Eli said, it's building the relationship where you have these guys that are linked up with the American trainers who steer these guys.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
In that way, you know?
That is a really good point.
Yeah, like Sam Vecini, he posted about it. Because they were talking about the fact that Illinois and Arizona with international players, all that stuff, and he said, and he covers this stuff, all that, knows it.
Yeah, he's
knows,
from
knows
Australia, I believe,
knows the inside out. He said it's really hard and takes either years to nail or takes very high level relationships with agents. Can't just take what people tell you as gospel. Got to get a feel for what each level is in each country and really evaluate. Like this isn't something you just go, you know what? We're going to just go start getting international players and expect that you're just going to nail all these guys.
No, I got a player on my phone though. 7'2" European, has a very familiar name. I'm not going to bring it up here on the air, but it's to have the relationships is extremely important. But more and more and more of these kids, not kids, pros, some of them want to play collegiate ball, especially with the NIL now available. They want to come here. That's why it's important to have a general manager who has a broad vision beyond just what's going on in our country. You got to think outside the box. By the way, we got to take a break, but how about Michigan back to its old self? They were beating teams by 30, 40 to begin the year. Look out for them. We'll talk about their matchup with Arizona as they win by 33. And then, Eli, what about Tennessee? How should Tennessee – I'm asking you to be a Tennessee Vols fan for a second, but how do you look at it if you're a Tennessee fan? You know that this team under Barnes is always going to be competitive, but just not enough.
You're getting to Elite Eights. Like, I don't –
Should the fan base want more? Should the fan base say, no, we want Final Four? We're tasting Elite Eight, but we want Final Four.
Like, yeah, you would love to get to a Final Four when you've never been to one. But again, you've never been to one. And if a guy's taking you to the Elite Eight every year, I don't think you could be disappointed. They're a 6 seed, and they lost to the Elite Eight to a 1 seed.
You shouldn't be, but fans always want, if they're getting a taste of something, they want more. They get the Elite Eight, they want the Final Four. I'm just saying. I think you're right, but we know fans, and not all fans are rational in the way they think about their teams.
Somebody today will get $98.50 thanks to our friends over at Classic Arms, because the Tennessee did win the game on Friday night, so we do still owe somebody out there $98.50. So I'll keep on listening. At some point during the program,
nice,
we will be giving away that $98.50 thanks to UTJ and the folks over at Classic Arms.
All right, much more to come. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey Memphis, Kayla Clement from Memphis Softball. You work hard for your money, so choose a financial team that works just as hard for you. Southern Security Credit Union offers great rates, personal service, and a local touch you can trust. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union. Your home team credit union is a proud supporter of the Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings. And they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GRAVY25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GRAVY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GRAVY25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
By the way, I know there was a lot of talk about perhaps Rick Barnes would retire after this NCAA tournament. Not the case. He said he's 100% committed to the Volunteers. Will be back as their head coach next season, as will a number of other veteran coaches, including Rick Pitino. St. John's went down to Duke 80-75 in the Sweet 16 on Friday. Pitino gets a new restructured deal with another year added on. So Slick Rick will be back at St. John's. So will a couple of other veteran coaches. We still don't know about Bill Self, though, at Kansas, as no announcement has been made. But Barnes back, Pitino back, Kelvin Sampson back at Houston. Michigan beating Alabama 90-77 to advance to that Elite Eight game, or to that Elite Eight game in which, of course, they won, blowing out Tennessee 90-77. Anything from that game? Any thought from that game?
From the Tennessee game?
From the Alabama-Michigan game.
Oh.
You had Nate Oates talking about Bediako after the game.
Well, I mean, Nate Oates is...
You had Erwin Dudley on your bench. Play him if you talking about Bediako. I saw that comment. I'm like, you got a legend on your bench. Play him.
He ain't going to let that thing die. Nate Oates ain't letting the Bediako thing die. That's for sure.
You had Connecticut advancing to the Elite Eight with a 4-point win over Michigan State. Another veteran coach, Tom Izzo, says, no, man, I am fired up. I'm going to keep this thing going. He almost went out. I think he predicted another Final Four, didn't he?
And they asked Kim Mulkey the same thing after Saturday night. She said, I'm not going on Friday night. She said, I'm not going anywhere unless they fire me.
Yeah. So, did she say something also like, don't I still look good, or something to that effect? But, yeah, so you have Izzo and probably 4 or 5 more years of Tom Izzo. And then, of course, Tennessee got to the Elite Eight by beating Iowa State by 14. They played really well in that game.
No, that was a great performance, especially that second half of that game. That was a dominant performance. Again, Iowa State playing without Jefferson, difficult when you lose your best player in that situation. But now the Tennessee was absolutely fantastic Friday night.
Yeah, even with Jefferson, a healthy 100% Jefferson, okay, maybe a different story, but there's no guarantees. I thought that maybe he'd give it a shot. Wasn't going to be. So you're already behind the 8 ball when you don't have him there. But I thought it was just a ho-hum performance by Iowa State, but give Tennessee a lot of the credit because of the way they played defense, and they obviously did enough offensively, putting up 76.
We've got some texts that we will get to kick off hour number 2, 360-8255. The Sissy's Log Cabin listener line is open to you at 360-8255. Randy did text back, and he said Sohan was ranked. He was ranked 114th by 24/7 Sports. So then, yes, he would qualify as a player that did that, going from outside of the top 100 and then a top 10 draft pick after just 1 year of college basketball. So that would, if he was ranked 114th, then he would certainly qualify.
Well, thank you, Randy, for doing the research. I said, do some research. Maybe we'll find, it's going to be few and far between, but maybe we'll find a few. And there's one right there. Thank you to Randy. By the way, the early lines for the national semis this Saturday, Michigan, Arizona. Arizona is a 1.5 point underdog. And with Illinois and Connecticut is a 2.5 point underdog. Could we see an all Big Ten national championship game? That's a possibility. We'll talk more about this coming up in hour 2. We got Tigers basketball news to open up hour 2. Again, we'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. We'll be giving away some money because Tennessee did win that game in the Sweet 16, so stay tuned for that as well. We got Major League Baseball talk to get to. Tiger Woods, we will talk about that ugly situation with Tiger a little bit later on in the show. Right now, I want to talk to you about an ugly situation that can be much, much better, brighter, nicer by using Lawn Solutions. Yes, if you have that crabgrass, grubworms, moles, things that are damaging your lawn or just making it look unpleasant, call the folks at Lawn Solutions. They will take care of it for you. They are a locally owned weed control fertilization company, locally owned, family operated, been in existence for years and years, and they will make your lawn beautiful. You'll be the envy of the neighborhood. 901-867-5626, the number to call. You can go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net. Brandon Holly and his team of professionals are top-notch pros, and they will do what they do to my lawn. They make it look nice. They kill the weeds. They can kill those weeds right now when it's starting to get warmer, so the weeds will start to pop up. But they can also take care of your lawn all year long. And that's controlling the germination of weeds by applying what they call pre-emergence during the winter months and post-emergence during the summer month. Again, any disease your lawn has, any insect infestation, let Lawn Solutions handle it. 901-867-5626 or online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
It's takeover time, and you'll know when. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and the takeover time I mentioned is when your house has been on the market for so long and you want somebody to come in, take over, properly market it, and get it sold. People often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon, because I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. It involves preparation before you go on the market, along with proper presentation and accurate pricing based on our ever-changing market and rates, and being made aware of what's going on around you so you can make intelligent decisions, not merely guessing. Call me at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com and let me take your listing over and get it sold. I may be lousy at golf, but I sure do sell some homes. Call me, Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Kubota Orange Days are here, so come see them Friday, April 3rd, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday, April 4th from 8 until noon at First Choice Farm and Lawn. And be sure to join me, Johnny Radio, from Sports 56, Friday, April 3rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Garibaldi's Pizza. Some fun and a lot of Kubota Orange. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs. Get your perfect match. Get 0 down, 0% financing, and discounts up to $2,000 on select models of mowers, tractors, and construction equipment. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com. Kubota Orange Days, Friday and Saturday, April 3rd and 4th, plus Sports 56 and Johnny Radio. Friday, April 3rd from 11 to 1, giving away Garibaldi's. For 50 years, Memphis has been going to Garibaldi's for great pizza, and it's still a Memphis favorite. And we're giving it away at First Choice Farm and Lawn, 12701 Highway 64 East in Eads.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's out with this crash over here westbound I-40 near Warford and Hollywood. It's got traffic a little bit slow there. Again, as you approach that area on 40 westbound near Hollywood and Warford as they clean up this accident. A little bit of rubbernecking associated with this crash here. That's why it's extra slow. It's building in Midtown right now, 240 north here up by Lamar. Hey, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and helps defeat childhood cancer. If you can help these kids, please log on today at stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:04 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, March 30th, 2026 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, they're located at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. The floor model spa sale continues, not for much longer, but it's still going on at Family Leisure. 64 degrees currently, going to get up to 80 today, breezy and warm. Clouds and sun mix tonight, breezy, otherwise mainly clear and warm. Possible pop-up shower, but more than likely it will stay dry. About a 25% chance tomorrow. Looks real nice. 85 for a high. Mostly sunny. Then clouds roll in Wednesday. Then we got a lot of rain. We got some thunderstorms in the forecast for Thursday and Friday, and rain for Saturday and Sunday, always subject to change. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners for 60 years. And every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know, when asked why there is no music played at Memphis football practice, that spring practice, which has been underway for a week now over at the University of Memphis, Tigers head coach Charles Huff said, when the Navy SEALs get ready to go on a mission, they're not listening to a little baby. Saquon Barkley reacted. He said, "Ha, love it. Never change. I know firsthand the kind of impact he has on you as a man and how he brings greatness out of you." Of course, having coached under Charles Huff, the great Saquon Barkley, I love that. Well, I was over there for practice the other day, didn't hear the music, wondering about that myself. I am excited about, I'm not saying that it's always a bad thing when coaches have the music, but I love the fact that that was his answer to that question I think Jonah Dillon asked. Charles Huff, the Tigers head football coach. James Gaddis Jewelers, open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday.
Well, as I mentioned, Tennessee winning the game on Friday night to get into the Elite Eight before losing yesterday, of course. That means that we owe $98.50 to some winner out there. We've already given away $98.50 to a couple of folks after their first 2 wins in the NCAA tournament, but we're going to make another winner. Today, we'll make it a little more difficult on you, though. I've got a question, and you can answer via text at 360-8255. 360-8255. Text in your answers, and the first correct answer will win $98.50. Yesterday, Tennessee taking on Michigan. It's the 4th time they have played Michigan in the NCAA tournament. That ties them with one other opponent that the Vols have played 4 times in their NCAA tournament history. Who is the other school that Tennessee has played 4 times in their NCAA tournament history? Michigan is now at 4, and there's one other school that Tennessee has played 4 times in their history. First correct answer, again, texting in at 360-8255. We'll get that $98.50.
Let's go to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, and let's bring on our resident Tennessee Vols fan, Alan. And I want to caution you, Alan, you may know the answer to that question, so don't blurt it out.
I know it, but I'm not going to say it.
Good. There you go. How are you, man?
You don't want me to really tell you, do you? I got up one morning to walk to the kitchen. I could walk 6 feet, went to the doctor. Had a stroke, had a splint put in, And while they were putting that in, they found cancer in my stomach.
Wow,
they cut that out, and then they cut some cancer off my nose.
Oh, my God, Alan, I'm sorry to hear all that.
Don't know. Everything's turned out perfect.
That's good. Good.
Yeah, I'm walking around doing everything.
Well, you always have a positive attitude. I thought it was because the Vols lost, but it was another great run. It was so as a fan, and you are a diehard Tennessee fan. Are you good with? I mean, they have a good season.
Oh
great
God, am I
seasons?
good with it? I would be an idiot to complain about going to 4 straight tournaments and 3 straight Elite Eights.
Sure, but you know there are fans of every team out there.
Yeah, well, they're all idiots. If they call you and tell you they don't like Barnes, wouldn't you like to have Barnes as your coach?
Absolutely, no, I would. But I know there are some that, in other words, you get a nice piece of cake, and then you're like, oh, this is good, but I want that cake over there. I want that bigger one, right?
I'll tell you why they complain, because they pay so much for tickets. Do you realize our budget this year is $305 million?
Oh my gosh!
Jeez.
Yeah, only 2 schools have a bigger budget: Ohio State and Texas. They spend so much money on a ticket to get into a basketball game and a football game. They're going to complain.
Hey, they want to go see the Vols no matter what it is. But right now,
but my God, would you complain if you went to did what Barnes just got through doing? Would you complain?
I would not. Now, let me ask you. Let me ask you about baseball, because baseball has struggled a bit. Tony Vitello's out in San Francisco.
They lost 3 straight walk-offs.
I know.
Weekend.
Vanderbilt, one of their rivals got him. Are you okay with everything, with what's going on with the new coach?
Because it's early in the year, and they got a really young team with a whole bunch of All-Americans. And he'll turn it around. You got to give him some time.
Hey, you keep that positive, attitude, Alan. Okay.
I'm getting well too, and I ain't gonna let this cancer come back. I tell you that now. I got a voodoo thing on it.
Good. You're a good man. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate you listening. Man, that's tough news to hear, but I'm glad Alan had that positive attitude that he always has.
Some texts here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. One texter texts in, says, Memphis Tigers basketball, please steal/borrow the Arizona Wildcats offense. Well, first
you have to have the talent.
First, you need to steal or borrow their players. That would help an awful lot. Again, it's not easy to be able to do that, just be able to go score at the rim as consistently as Arizona does. But when you've got better players generally than your opponent, it makes it a lot easier. So go get the better players first, and then you can work as far as that is concerned. Raider Corey says, I have to applaud the committee once again for doing an outstanding job with the seedings. For the most part, we have the best and top teams competing for the championship. I wish Michigan, Arizona could have been the title game, but this has been a very entertaining tournament.
I have no problem with it. I would agree with that. But I love it every year. It's just a great event.
The Reggie texted, talking about the Memphis Tigers. He says, one problem, we always seem to have a bad seed or two on our team. At least every other year, since Penny's been here. We got to get good character kids that listen into Penny's favorite point, buy in. The bad guys destroy teams, and it only takes one.
Okay, so there is Tigers coaching news this morning, and there was some news yesterday that we'll get to as well that involves the coaching staff. But this morning, Roman Cleary from Bluff City Media first to report that Memphis has hired Sean Mock and Trevor Deloche as assistant coaches. Now, he said the program announced. I have not yet seen any announcement from the program. I'm checking my emails here. I have not seen that. It may have come down here in the last few minutes. No, still don't see it, but that's what he's reporting. Mock spent the last 7 years at Tulane. Deloche has spent the last 2 years with Charlotte and UTSA, respectively. So, as Penny has done an awful lot, he has grabbed players in the portal from the conference, and now, apparently, according to this report, has grabbed coaches from the conference. Now, yesterday, there was also the news, which was expected, that Tony Madlock, former Tiger player, former Tiger assistant coach, great all-around guy, who was the head coach at Alabama State and got him to the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago, winning their conference, stepped down as the head coach and will become, again, according to reports, nothing announced by the school, the associate head coach and the right-hand man for Penny Hardaway. So that appears, if these stories are all accurate, it does appear Tony Madlock will become the associate head coach. And again, according to this story from Roman, Sean Mock, Trevor Deloche, that would be the coaching staff. As far as the general manager, that has yet to be announced. Not sure if that has yet to be a done deal within the university. In other words, have they got their person? Have they made their hire? Or are they still looking at candidates? Are they vetting candidates? I'm not sure where that stands. But if these reports are accurate, again, Tony, love him. Love Tony. But again, it's, Penny's guy. Mock and Deloche, I don't know their history and where they've come from other than that they've coached in the American Conference. Now, I've already got a few texts from people saying, okay, the guy was at Tulane. What about Brumbaugh? How about Rowan Brumbaugh? You think there's a connection there? Did he recruit him to Tulane? I don't know. I don't know that history. But I said it earlier, with the influx of international players, and as you mentioned, with the connections you really need, I would have loved to have seen him go outside the box and look for somebody that had that kind of international ties, because that seems to be a direction that we're going in with players that want to play collegiately, even though they're possibly already pros. We've seen that, already pros internationally, Europeans especially. Or maybe they just played against men and professionals in the early years of their basketball. 14, 15, 16, 17, their developmental stages, playing against professional men in Europe, and have that seasoned experience. And you see it with all these teams that have been making these deep runs in the NCAA tournament, the teams that are still alive. They're all with international players, some more than others. So I would have liked to see that connection, to look outside the box. But again, I don't know. I'll have to look up a little bit of the history of these guys, learn a little bit more about them, if indeed that's the direction they're going in. But again, that's according to reports out there, both Tony Madlock yesterday that came out, and then these two assistant coaches coming out today from Roman.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the idea for these guys of going outside of that family, I guess. But yeah, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about either one of the two guys. We're now 8 days away from the portal opening. So again, I'm not sure what the holdup on the GM situation is. I would think that, and now that these are coming out, maybe that means the GM announcement will be coming very, very soon as well, and hopefully that's a done deal. But we're getting very close now, where the time continues to tick towards that portal opening up. And again, I don't know how much the GM difference goes. I don't know how much it's going to matter for this year anyway, but I would at least like to have the guy in place by the time the portal opens up.
So this is not commonplace, but it's happening a little bit more lately, and that's sitting head coaches leaving for assistant coaches, coaching jobs at bigger places. We see it a lot more in college football. Hell, we saw Chip Kelly leave a head coaching job at UCLA to become a coordinator. Johnny Jones, the former Memphis Tiger head coach, was at Texas Southern, had been there a while, according to reports, leaving that job to become an assistant on Will Wade's staff at LSU, where Johnny Jones played and has the roots to LSU, but going from a sitting head coach to an assistant coach, presumably for more money. Tony Madlock leaving Alabama State to come to Memphis, again, reportedly as the associate head coach, presumably for more money. There seems to be more of those coaches who probably at the beginning of their coaching career, their goal was to become a head coach. And now they look at it and go, well, got an opportunity even as an assistant, the second guy on a staff, to make really good money and to be happy. We're seeing it. We're absolutely seeing it. We also saw this morning.
It continues to illustrate how big of a difference there is
financially
in the levels as you go up of the financial backing. I mean, again, when Memphis, not even a power conference school, is able to pay an assistant coach more money than he was making as a head coach at a lower level. You just go up the thing. There's just more money to be had at every single level.
Yeah. Speaking of head coaches, Utah State, according to Pete Thamel, has hired Northern Iowa coach Ben Jacobson, finalizing a 5-year deal to make him the school's next coach. Jacobson won 397 games over 20 seasons at Northern Iowa, had 5 NCAA tournament appearances. So 20 years. You're talking about laying down roots at a place. Jacobson certainly did at Northern Iowa. But Utah State, program on the rise, lost their head coach. Again, more money. Presumably he's not leaving for less money or equal amount of money. So now Northern Iowa is looking for a head coach. One other note, and I think this is interesting because it has a little bit of a connection here to Memphis. According to Ross Dellinger, West Florida will be moving from Division II to Division I. That is expected to be finalized this week. The Argonauts, that's their nickname, joined the United Athletic Conference in football and the ASUN in all other sports. They will pay a $2 million D1 entry fee and must adhere to a 3-year D1 transition period before competing in Division I championships. I bring that up because West Florida was where Marcus Stokes played, who's one of the Memphis Tiger quarterbacks this year. Originally had signed coming out of high school with Florida, had the situation there, went to West Florida, was a stud, and Memphis went out and got him in the portal. So West Florida will become eventually a Division I program.
We do have a winner of the $98.50 from our friends at UTJ and Classic Arms. Appropriately enough, it was Tennessee Tom who is our winner. So no shock that he would probably have known the answer to this, and he was the fastest with the correct answer. A lot of folks with the correct answer, but Tom was the fastest. The question was, what other team other than Michigan now has Tennessee played 4 times in its NCAA tournament history? Yesterday was the 4th time they had played Michigan in an NCAA tournament game. The correct answer is Virginia. They have played Virginia 4 times. Again, a lot of folks had the correct answer, but Tom was a little bit quicker than everybody else with that correct answer. So congratulations to Tom. He's the winner of the $98.50. Our final winner of $98.50, thanks to the Vols and their 3 tournament wins.
Yeah, and thank you, UTJ and Classic Arms. 2 other basketball notes from the college ranks. One involving Memphis. If you didn't see this news over the weekend, Ashton Hardaway will enter the transfer portal. So Ashton, who played at Memphis a couple years ago, left and went to St. Mary's, came back to Memphis, is leaving again. At the end of the season, he wasn't playing. Now, they said it was an injury, and it probably was, but I just wonder what was going on there as Ashton's leaving Pop for a second time. But he's the only player so far that we've actually heard news about other than Thetford and William Wharton, who are going to return to Memphis. Those other 5 guys we haven't heard either way, even though well past the deadline, I'm sure decisions have been made. They just haven't been released either by those players, by their representatives, by the school, which is not going to release that information. I tried to get more information on Curtis Givens III the other day. His dad's basically running that show, so nothing else new on those other players. Also, breaking news, speaking of Tennessee assistant Justin Gainey will become the new head coach at North Carolina State, according to Matt Norlander. Gainey, former Wolfpack player, played there from 96 to 2000. He's been a high major assistant since 2018. Rick Barnes spoke glowingly about him. So Gainey to NC State, that means now there is an assistant coaching void on Rick Barnes' staff.
Spent some time yesterday over at East Coast Wings watching some of the basketball action, watching some Cubs baseball, watching the Cubs lose again. Terrible series to start the year against the damn Washington Nationals, for goodness sake. Nonetheless, It was fun to get over there, watch the games, and enjoy some food and drinks, and a good time was had by all. But you could head over to East Coast Wings on Mondays. They got their 85-cent wing specials. That's either boneless or bone-in wings, 85 cents on Mondays that they do that. Of course, again, the Final Four coming up on Saturday. Grizzlies in action throughout the week, and again, Major League Baseball underway with all kinds of games every single day. And they've got all the games on for you at East Coast Wings and Grill. Located out in Bartlett, just off Highway 64, right between the Lowe's and Walmart there off Highway 64 in the Wolf Chase area. Great food, great place to watch the action. East Coast Wings and Grill.
The women's Final Four will be completely set tonight with 2 games. We'll discuss that a bit. We'll talk some Grizzlies and NBA coming up in our next segment. Later on, the Tiger Woods DUI news. We'll talk Major League Baseball. We got some sad news from the NFL. And also, at 9:05, we'll be joined by Matt Reiser, Memphis Tigers baseball coach. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, great news. All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch is hosting a huge truck month sale. Supplier prices for everyone. Save thousands. Nobody has more Silverados than All-Star. Today, you could drive home a new Equinox, Trailblazer, Trax, Blazer, or go big with a new Silverado HD and make no payments for 90 days. You're going to love no payments all through the spring and into the summer, and financing as low as 1.9. And your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. So test drive one of these barely driven, certified, or pre-owned All-Star Chevys. You're not going to find any more in the same place at the same time anywhere. Guaranteed. Tahoes, Suburbans, Chevy Express passenger van, tons of Silverados. Plus, bring any vehicle you want and sell it here at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the truck month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Sorrento TG 414140, MSRP 34030, Sportage T 7271780, MSRP 31865, Telluride SVGO 19639, MSRP 45540, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through KFA, excludes tax title and license, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 3/31/2026.
If you're looking for a new ride, we got it at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff Allen, what's up?
We are rocking, Randy, at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Take your pick. I've got a 2026 Kia Sorento LX or a 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX, $297 a month. That's less than a latte a day for a new ride. Or the new 2027 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, only $479 a month. All 24-month lease, $39.99 due at signing.
And don't forget about 2026 EV9, $12,000 off or 0% for 60 months available. And every Gossett Kia comes equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's trying to untangle a couple of accidents out here. Heavier traffic volume now inbound on Bill Morris, working your way past Riverdale as you continue on 385 here at Hickory Hill, trying to get on the 240 there at Mount Moriah. It's crowded through Midtown right now in the normal spots with that volume, especially northbound on 240 here passing Lamar. A bridal season just around the corner. Shop local. You always save money when you go there first at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So Michigan has a chance tonight to match Connecticut. If the Michigan women can knock off Texas, which would be an upset, they would have both the men and the women in the Final Four, as Connecticut does. But Michigan, uphill battle again as they'll take on number 1 Texas tonight. They are a 9.5-point underdog. The other game tonight is number 1 South Carolina and number 3 TCU. South Carolina is a 13.5-point favorite. Yesterday, it was UCLA over Duke, 1/3, 70-58. And number 1 UConn destroyed number 6 Notre Dame by 18. So more than likely, Eli, you'll have the 4 number 1s in women's basketball. UConn making the Final Four for the 25th time. You talk about a dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, they're I can't comprehend how he has done it, like how he just makes, like, the Sweet 16 is a given. I mean, that's not even a question on a yearly basis, and pretty much the Final Four isn't much of a question. Like, you just know going in they're probably going to be there and have a chance for how many undefeated seasons have they had, you know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
But chance for another undefeated season.
I would have to look it up, but just guessing, I would say 6 or 7.
It just doesn't even make sense that you can have a program that is just that dominant. And I wonder when he does leave, can they keep it going? Or will it take a big tumble? Like, what will Connecticut be once he is gone? Has he set the blueprint for somebody else to be able to step in there and do it? Or is it just the fact that it's him?
I don't know. That's a great question. I think some of it's him, some of it's the institution, because they have set the tone there in Connecticut for a long, long time. But
because we saw what happened at Tennessee. Pat Summitt gone. Right. It ain't been the same. I don't. You're thinking that, like, because you're thinking women's battle, like, okay, like, you can just be Bill's done, and probably the next person should be able to step in and do it, but it doesn't work that way.
Well, Stanford had Trish Vanderveer for all those years. They're not as good. I bet you when Dawn Staley leaves, South Carolina will not be the power they are now. I'm not saying that they won't be good, but I would tend to lean on the Connecticut will take a drop, a little bit of a drop when Auriemma leaves.
I think they'll take a drop, but I think it'll be curious as to what direction that they will go in. The only one of his ladies or assistants that I would even consider at this point would be Shea Ralph at Vanderbilt, who's done a fantastic job at Vanderbilt. And she's kind of like Gino temperament-wise. You know, she played for Gino. She was part of his second championship team, captain for him, coached under him for a long time. But it's hard to imagine, you know, just because, like you mentioned, what happened in Knoxville after Pat left with with Holly and now where they're at right now, it's like, ooh, where did that next move? Because we know a change is coming there. And I think they're going to they're going to call Durham, North Carolina, and make a call for Kara Lawson to come home.
Yeah, I would think, because she's obviously having success there.
Great players want to gravitate to great situations, and they know Oriam is a great coach. They know Connecticut's a great program, so the best of the best want to go there. Now there's a lot more quality players, let's just say, in women's basketball in this day and age. That's why I think you have more programs that are really good. They're just not elite. That's why you get these number ones, the same number ones basically every year.
The same number ones, and you'll get a competitive Sweet 16 game maybe for 3 quarters,
right,
and then it'll stretch itself out, and the strong will survive.
Julius texted in, said, how is UConn dominating men's college basketball without power conference affiliation? Is it something Memphis can model? Well, the Big East in basketball is a power conference. And I don't know where UConn is or what they're spending on their basketball roster. I'm guessing it's a good amount. My guess is that UConn's probably spending a lot of money on their roster for basketball. They obviously care about basketball, certainly more than football. And they are, obviously, and they've got a great coach who's got it rolling now, which just makes it a little easier to recruit and everything else.
Well, they've done it with multiple coaches. Obviously, Calhoun was so successful there. They obviously have backers. They have alum that put money into that program, because even though they're looked at as a power in basketball in the Big East, they're not getting SEC money, Big Ten money. This is not the money they're bringing in. Revenue, their revenue is driven from, I think, a lot of boosters, a lot of people that are giving money to the program, because they still have a football program they got to pay for, and a football program that I talked about earlier that's not bad. They were, and there were financial problems at that school. But for whatever reason there are people that are giving money to that program, because there's no way this is all coming from a TV deal that the Big East has.
And even, around the money, you're still getting guys to go to Storrs, Connecticut. Yeah. It's like, what else is there to do in Storrs other than hoop?
Right. Why aren't schools that, like DePaul and these smaller, they don't have football, right? I mean, they certainly don't have D1 football. Why aren't they successful now? Right? They're getting that same Big East money. It's because there's others that are stepping up that care about Connecticut basketball, both men and women. It's pretty impressive what Connecticut has done. It really is. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk some NBA. The Grizzlies, with 2 games over the weekend, they played on Friday at home. They're in the midst of a 6-game homestand, and they lost to the Rockets 119-109. Hung pretty tough with the Rockets until KD took over, and in the fourth quarter, they outscored the Grizz, won the game by 10. KD had 25 to lead the way. Balanced scoring pretty much for the Rockets. Omax, big game, 31 points for the Grizzlies. I think he's been impressive. He really has, and that's why he got the standard contract. And then on Saturday, the Grizzlies went out there and did something they shouldn't have done. They won. They beat the Bulls 125-124. Cedric Coward, of course, who we're going gaga over, and we should. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Basically the silver lining in a black cloud that we've seen all year long from the Grizz. They'll be back in action tonight. They will host the Phoenix Suns. Grizzlies at 25-49. The Suns at 41-33. 8 players out for tonight, 2 questionable and 3 doubtful. So do the math. That's 13 players of the 18, counting the 3 two-ways that you have available, that are either out or could be out of this game. And now we know also from the news yesterday that we received, Jalen Wells officially out for the rest of the year with a fracture in his right big toe. The toe injuries continue to add up for the Grizzlies.
The great toe injury. It's the great toe injury of 2026.
The great toe mystery.
They switched back to calling it great toes again. I don't know. They go back and forth between big and great. I don't know what makes one great and the other not so great. But anyways, I still have not figured out, like, if you look at the stats, just the stats from the Bulls game, there's no way the Grizzlies should have won that game. The Bulls made 19 more free throws and outshot the Grizzlies from the field 50% to 46.7%. and out-rebounded the Grizzlies 53-37. And somehow the Grizzlies won that game. It makes no sense. The whole thing was turnovers because the Grizzlies ended up taking 25 more shots than the Bulls did in that game. But it's like, there's just like the statistics would tell you there's no way in hell the Grizzlies could have won. At the end of that game, like again, for the real conspiracy theorists out there, like, the Grizzlies turn it over on the inbound, up by 1, and then the Bulls on the fast break with a chance to go win the game. The guy throws the pass, and they run out of time before they get the shot up. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you'd say, hey, just maybe they were trying to lose the game. Both teams. Grizzlies said, hey, we could turn it over on this inbounds. Bulls get a fast break. However, the Bulls then said, you know what? Maybe we'll just wait till right after the buzzer before we make the shot.
It's incredible. But you're right. I looked at that. I was following the game. Somehow they figured out a way to win the game. Every once in a while, they get the dub. They had that dub over Denver that nobody expected. But they're still in pretty good shape. They're a game, I think, ahead, and you want to be behind. But a game ahead, I think, of New Orleans and Dallas off the top of my head. So there's still some time. They still have, how many games? Do the math here. They have 8 more games to play, including this game tonight against Phoenix. But now Jalen Wells will have to have a procedure done. They need a witch doctor to come in because the juju's really, really bad over there.
Or just get Mr. Miyagi to come in and do that ritual that he did for Daniel at the All Valley and just get him back right.
Whatever it is, they need something. They need something over there because I can't. Again, this is the second time in 3 years. But these guys are dropping like flies, man.
They're 1 game ahead of New Orleans and Dallas. They're tied with New Orleans in the win column, but New Orleans has 2 more losses. New Orleans has fallen apart again. They've lost 5 in a row. And again, they're not in tank mode because it doesn't matter. They don't have the pick anyway. They're 25-51. The Grizzlies 25-49, and the Mavericks at 24-50. And then in the other thing to watch is that Orlando.
Yeah, I was just going to bring them up.
And they are still in that battle at 8, 9, 10 in the East. They're now a half game up on both Miami and Charlotte. And so they are currently in the 8th spot there. But we'll see how that plays out. Again, that could very well, if Orlando ends up missing or losing in the play-in, and they could be anywhere from 8, 9, or 10. And we'll see what happens. But if they end up in the lottery, then the Grizzlies would have 2 lottery picks as they will get, again, the better pick out of the Orlando and Phoenix picks. Phoenix is certainly going to be in the play-in as in all likelihood the 7 seed, so they would have to lose 2 games in the play-in to miss the playoffs. Whereas, again, Orlando, if they end up in either one of those 9 or 10 spots, they would just have to lose that one time, and they would be out of the playoffs.
So it's a lose-lose tonight for the Grizzlies. It's a dilemma. They're playing Phoenix. You would like to see Phoenix lose, but you want to lose too.
Yeah, I mean, I at this point, I don't think Phoenix is missing the playoffs.
I don't think so either.
I think you can say that they're going to. I would find it hard to see them losing 2 games in the play-in against that group of teams, quite frankly. So I would guess they're going to be in. I think the hope is Orlando falling out, and to give you that second lottery pick. Orlando has a pretty difficult schedule remaining. So hope that they end up in that 9-10 game and they lose it, and then you're sitting pretty with 2 lottery picks.
Well, the Magic have lost 7 of 8. Yesterday, they lose to the Toronto Raptors, 139-87. They lost by 52. I had the Magic plus 51 in that game and still lost. But there was a 31-0 run by Toronto in that game. It's the largest unanswered run in the play-by-play era. That can't be right. 97-98. What? 31-0 run? In the NBA, a 31-0 run?
Hey, Orlando, I think, was posting reels on TikTok or something. They were doing something else at the time.
I mean, the Magic, I know Dez has been good. They had a few issues with injuries with Wagner. I don't know what's going on with Paolo, but that team should be much better than they are.
Maybe they were still shocked that Duke didn't hold a basketball, and they just decided they weren't going to shoot the basketball no more.
Was that going on at the same time of the Michigan 21-0 run? As maybe they were competing? Maybe it was a competition between them and Tennessee, who could give up more points without scoring? You never know. It
was played earlier in the afternoon, though, right?
Listen to this. Here's the result. I won't even give the games now. Here are the results, the point differential of the results of the NBA from yesterday. Okay, there's a 14-point win, a 17-point win, a 17-point win, a 15-point win, a 52-point win, a 35-point win, a 32-point win, an 11-point win, a 23-point win. The closest game, the Thunder over the Knicks, 111-100.
The dog days of the NBA schedule.
I know. We would all love it to cut down games, but that ain't going to happen.
A texter texted, has there ever been an NBA team with as many injuries as the Grizzlies have had? Like, I don't know, like official injuries, all that stuff. I mean, it's hard to believe.
If
but
we champion anything, I think we've championed that.
When you consider the fact that it's happened 2 out of 3 seasons, there's no way any team has gone through what they have twice in a 3-year stretch.
Well, the Grizzlies signed a cat to a 10-day contract over the weekend. Never heard of the guy.
I don't even think when Philly was when they had Sam Hinkie and they were doing their
the process
thing, which I refer to as a basketball Ponzi scheme, but I don't think that they were even that injured during that period.
I mean, just the pure number of, and again, it's a little bit weird because they don't really care to bring guys back, but like the season-ending injuries is crazy. Mm-hmm. Just consider how many guys have had season-ending injuries. Early in the season. Like, it's crazy.
And then we got to a point where we started seeing multiple in the same week.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
No, they send out an injury update seemingly now. Like, it's like, that's a regular, that's like spam emails. They just keep on coming. It's another Grizzlies injury update.
It's always bad news when you see that email's coming.
And you know it's going to be some weird body part you've never heard of that they're going to say that some guy did something to, and then he's expected to make a full recovery, and he's having a procedure, and we'll update you later, and that update means he's done for the rest of the year.
By the way, the guy they signed to a 10-day deal, Adama Ball. Arizona. Played at Arizona. I never heard of him, though.
I remember him, yeah.
You remember the guy?
Vaguely, but yeah.
He's now a Grizzly on a 10-day contract. Folks, we're a ways away from lunch and dinner, but before too long, you'll be craving for something good. How about Corky's? We have great barbecue in Memphis. The best barbecue in the country, and the best barbecue in the city is Corky's. Corky's serving up that delicious slow-smoked barbecue for 40-plus years. They cater. They've catered some huge events, and they can cater any event you have coming up. Just give them a call. Go on their website, find out more about their catering services. They'll start you out as low as $7.99 per person. You want your lunch or dinner delivered to you? Corky's can do that as well. Their delivery fee is set at $3.99. When you head over for lunch or for dinner, add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. When you purchase an entree, barbecue sandwich, maybe the award-winning catfish plate, and then top it off with that third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99. Party packs start at just $7.49. 4 locations: Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Tiger Woods, deja vu all over again. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You love your land. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love all the great deals. With versatile compact tractors, professional-grade mowers, and durable utility vehicles, Kubota equipment can help you turn dream projects into reality. Kubota Orange Days is here, and so are the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, get select compact tractors with 0% financing available or save up to $5,500. Sale ends soon. Go to KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by your local dealer for more information.
Memphis, ready to play golf whenever you want? Now you can. Welcome to Back 9 Golf, Memphis' premier indoor golf facility built for players who never want to leave the game. Open 24/7 for members, Back 9 Golf features 4 tour-level full-swing simulators letting you take on bucket list courses like St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, and TBC Sawgrass without leaving the Mid-South. Grab your friends, book a bay, play a full round, or hit the driving range to work on your game with instant shot data trusted by the pros. Memphis, you don't have to be a member to tee it up. Public tee times are also available. Rain, heat, wind, or daylight doesn't matter. Your tee time is always on. Visit theback9golf.com/Memphis for more information. That's theback9golf.com/Memphis. Back 9 Golf, just off Poplar at Houston Levy. The Back 9, where golf never sleeps. Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
I got him on the line out there in Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Hey, Marty McNate, what's going on?
I've got some big news. Volkswagen Driver Days is going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
And Marty McNate, I hear you've got some incredible deals happening right now.
You heard right, Randy. I got 2026 Jetta S, $277 a month.
$277 a month for Jetta. Hey, what else you got?
How about 2026 Taos S, $327 a month.
$327 a month for Taos S, and I hear you got a Tiguan deal out of this world.
2026 Tiguan S, $355 a month.
Well, it sounds like you got something for everyone.
Come see me, Marty McNate, at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
All 36-month lease, Jetta TM 005137, MSRP 25820, Tiguan TM 014510, MSRP 32585, Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841, includes all rebates and incentives, must be financed through Volkswagen Credit TF 895, excludes tax title and license with a blue credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:51 is the time. On Friday, scrolling through Twitter and seeing the story about Tiger Woods, I couldn't believe that I was seeing this again after what has happened to him outside of the golf world with incidents before. But maybe I shouldn't be stunned in seeing this as Tiger Woods. If you missed it, he was arrested on Friday, released on bail after the Land Rover he was driving in clipped a truck, rolled onto its side. He was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence. Luckily, there were no injuries, no serious injuries in this two-vehicle incident. The truck had been slowing to turn into a driveway when Woods approached at what the sheriff described as a high rate of speed on a road with a 30-mile-per-hour limit. Again, Woods was alone in the vehicle. He was able to escape through the passenger side. Investigators said he showed signs of impairment, was subjected to roadside tests before being taken into custody. Authorities said a breath test showed no alcohol in his system, and investigators believed impairment was due to medication or drugs. No substances were found in the vehicle. Woods refused to submit to a urinalysis test, was charged with DUI, with property damage, and a refusal to submit to a lawful test. If you recall, the incident he was involved in 2021 in California led to multiple leg and ankle injuries so severe that they thought doctors could possibly amputate one of his legs. In 2017, he was arrested on a DUI charge after police in South Florida found him asleep behind the wheel of a damaged vehicle. He said he had taken a problematic mix of prescription medications and pleaded guilty to reckless driving. This is the latest. Eli, he's one of our heroes. How do we look at what's going on with Tiger Woods, who refuses, obviously, to use drivers with all the money he has? I remember talking about this in 2017 and again in 2021, that a guy with all this money, just have a driver drive you anywhere you need to go. Does he have a drug problem? That's another question. I'm so upset with this. I was hoping that maybe we would see him miraculously at the Masters, but sometimes we may not want to know what is going on with our heroes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I there's no doubt. I mean, the guy's, I'm sure, he's on a lot of painkillers. You can watch the guy walk. It looks painful when you've had whatever now 8, 9 back surgeries and everything else that he's had. I'm sure he is probably on painkillers on a regular basis and may very well have an addiction to painkillers. You know, when you've taken them for as long as he probably has with all the different surgeries and everything, that certainly wouldn't be a shock that would be the case for him. His refusal to have people drive him makes no sense. It'll never make sense. He's clearly a bad driver. He just is. I don't know why. And so he's a danger not only to himself but to others if he's going to continue to drive this way.
That's the scariest thing out of everything.
And luckily nobody was hurt here, but it could have been a lot worse when you're doing that in a residential area. It's just it's sad to see it. It's unfortunate. You would have thought that at some point one of the other incidents may have made him realize that, this isn't very smart. I've got all the money in the world. I could hire somebody to drive me anywhere I want to go, but he just clearly refuses to do that. And the thing is that, and I was talking to somebody about this over the weekend, or on Friday, I guess, after this came out, but people of Tiger's stature, when they do things and have little stuff that goes on, it's often covered up. So if we know the number of incidents we know about, think about how many we don't know about that Tiger's been involved in. That's the scary part. I wonder how many times he's been in various accidents or whatever that we never heard about.
Yeah, and you made the point just a moment ago about he can kill himself, but he can kill innocent people as well, whether they're in vehicles, whether they're outside vehicles, with what's going on. He obviously has some issue with the meds. There's no, you can see his face in the mugshot. He has issues. I don't know if he has a drug problem or not, but there are obvious issues from the pain that he's been dealing with. I don't know. I just think what I don't want to see is this guy who is larger than life and has meant so much to so many people and changed the game of golf to make golf cool, that he continues to do these types of things that will, if not already tarnish his legacy, will eventually tarnish his legacy. There's probably some people that unfortunately will poo-poo this, but I don't know how you can. This is just another incident. They're starting to really add up. The day before, he had actually put his name into the playing list for the Senior U.S. Open. I'm not sure if he'd be able to play, but he at least entered his name as a possibility. And then, of course, he had not shut the door on the Masters. I think you're right. The physical situation he's still in, the pain he's in, more than likely he wasn't going to play. But, there was that positive attitude that maybe I'll play, and then if not, maybe I'll play in the Senior U.S. Open. I always said that I thought he'd play in the Champions Tour majors. That's out the window now. And I don't know what it means for coming back and playing. Does everybody turn their head and look the other way? Or does the PGA Tour get involved? Are they supposed to get involved? Do they get involved in other people's individual situations? I mean, this is Tiger. This is the face of golf for decades. It's very alarming. It's very scary. It's very alarming. And, you know, it was a story on Friday, and I'm surprised it didn't have the legs that it did, probably because we move on to the next thing, and that was the NCAA tournament over the weekend and baseball in its first weekend of play. But people, you can't sugarcoat what happened here. And I'll be curious to see, especially with the Masters coming up, how the PGA Tour deals with this. No statement from the commissioner yet. Nothing. Maybe they're gathering information. Again, he bailed out. Obviously, he was going to bail out after the arrest.
Ron Texas says painkillers will get you. They say Tiger is too cheap to hire a driver. There are people that say because he's so private, he doesn't want a driver because he doesn't want anybody kind of
where he's going and all that.
But again, you're getting in accidents and you're under the influence. Because here's what you can do. You can pay the driver enough and have him sign that he can't say anything to
disclosure.
anybody.
Yeah, disclosure thing.
You can make sure that ain't gonna matter. You've got the ability to do that. So living and having a driver who knows where you're going but can't say anything seems like a lot better option than the option he's going with right now.
And now the latest in his love life, he's made it public about him and Trump, Don Jr.'s ex-wife. They're an item. So, I mean, there's more things you would do, obviously private, but as far as the love life, he always tried to, keep that out of the limelight with his wife, but other indiscretions, it's the waitress in Vegas and all who knows how many other things. But yes, I understand the privacy, but I also understand, the possibility of killing yourself or somebody else.
Somebody else says, I really think there's a chance Tiger wasn't on anything, but probably takes some things. He's not sure how they might show up in a drug test, so was advised not to do it. He hit a trailer and flipped. Could happen to anyone. Yeah, could, but again, he was why he shouldn't be trying to pass the truck.
He was speeding.
He's at a high rate of speed, and he's on a residence. The truck's turning left, and he's trying to pass him. What he's doing is illegal.
Would you love?
It's a very poor. I'm assuming he takes painkillers for all of the different issues he has with his body. I'm sure he probably is in pain every single day, probably takes it, whatever. There's a lot of people that do believe he didn't want to do the urine test because of PEDs that might show up and they might come out. Because if you look at the dude, he's back to being like a bodybuilder, looks like a bodybuilder again. So there's a lot of people think he didn't want to do it because PEDs would show up in that test possibly. He didn't want that getting out.
Would you love living in that area when he sped, high rate of speed, if you had kids and you lived right there? No, nobody would like that. So, they'll condone that. I mean, certainly you can't accept something like that. You can't accept it from anybody, whether it's a star or whether it's Joe Q Public doing that in your neighborhood with kids and those possibilities.
Folks, if you own a business and you want that business looking its best at all times, well, you make sure you keep the exterior building very, very clean. Get that storefront clean, sidewalks, driveways, all of that stuff, parking lot. You want it always looking its best, and that's what they do for you at Hall Power Washing Solutions. Not only for businesses, though, for homes as well. You want your home looking its best. And over the winter months especially, dirt and grime can build up on the exterior of your home, on your roof, on your sidewalks, on your driveway, decks, fences, all of those things. And Hall Power Washing Solutions can come by and make those look like new once again. Give them a call at 258-1399. That's 258-1399. That's Roderick Hall at Hall Power Washing Solutions. You can also go to hallpowerwashingsolutions.com. That's HALL. Hallpowerwashingsolutions.com is the website where you can see examples of their work. You can get a quote. You can get all the information you need about Roderick and everything else. But for commercial and residential cleaning, give them a call or check them out at Hall Power Washing HallPowerWashingSolutions.com. Again, keep your home, keep your business looking its best with the help of Hall Power Washing Solutions.
Matt Reiser joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spring is in the air and Bobby J is ready to put you in a new Kia today from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Take your pick, 2026 Kia Sorento LX or 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX. Your choice, $297 a month. That's less than a latte a day for a new ride. How about new 2027 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive? Only $479 a month. All 24-month lease, $39.99 due at signing. And all 2026 EV9s now $12,000 off or 0% for 60 months available. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Come see Bobby J and get your new Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Sorento TG 414140, MSRP 34030, Sportage T 7271780, MSRP 31865, Telluride SVGO 19639, MSRP 45540. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title license. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 3/31/2026.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Taking care of families isn't new to us. It's what we've done across the Mid-South since 1958. Now celebrating 68 years in business, Choate's is still family-owned, award-winning, and committed to doing things the right way. With honest service, expert technicians, and industry-leading warranties that bring real peace of mind. To celebrate, we're offering our $68 deals. Get our $68 early bird AC tune-up special, or just need Freon to get you cooling, get $68 off per pound. If your system is struggling, don't wait for it to fail on the hottest day of the year. Upgrade today and get up to $2,000 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on select Carrier systems. Plus, enjoy 60 months no interest financing on new HVAC systems, generators, or tankless water heaters. Call Choates at 347-8086 or visit HVAC.com today. And remember, let our family serve your family.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's trying to wrap up a couple of wrecks out here. Now, it remains busy with that volume westbound, especially on I-40, anywhere from Germantown Parkway down the Second Murphy Road. A lot of that traffic getting on to Sam Cooper right now as you come off I-40. They're inbound on Sam Cooper, pretty heavy down past Perkins. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and helps defeat childhood cancer. If you can help these kids, please do. Log on right now to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Once again, as usual, a busy Monday. Lots to talk about. We've already discussed plenty of basketball, both the NCAA tournament, the Grizzlies, and Memphis Tigers basketball news. But here in Hour 3, we'll be baseball heavy. It's time to talk with Matt Reiser.
It's time to talk University of Memphis baseball with Tigers head coach Matt Reiser. Brought to you by Landers Nissan and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Haven. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. Here's Coach Reiser with Greg and Eli.
Here's the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. He is Matt Reiser. A 2-2 week for the Tigers. A lot of good things, some bad things, but certainly a competitive week when you play an Ole Miss team ranked in the top 20 and beat them and then take on Wichita State, coach, before you get ready for what will be another big week. It's all big from here on out, but how would you generally evaluate the team's performance with 2 wins, 2 losses over the 4 games?
Yeah, a part of me a little disappointed. Just felt like being at home, right, taking that Wichita State series would have been big for us, and getting another win, closer to what we're trying to get to obviously qualify for the tournament. I thought that was right in front of us. I thought we pitched it much better this week. That's what we've been kind of waiting on, right, to kind of manifest a little bit. It's starting to manifest here in the last couple of weeks, and therefore we're starting to win a few more games. Offensively, I think was where the disappointment came in. I thought we could have done some more things there on Friday and Sunday to score some more runs. I thought, again, Tuesday and also what we did Saturday with the run rule, fantastic. And again, I know it doesn't show up every single day, right? It's baseball. But if we can get a little more consistent, that's at the 50-50, I think, we had the 3-1 week, and we're a little bit more excited about what we are doing right now. But in the same sense, encouraged, right? Encouraged because we are improving. We are getting better. And as we get here into now conference play, right, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, every week is big from here on out. There is no okay, hey, man, this is kind of a light week for you. Here's a non-conference weekend to kind of, get healthy, or bye weekend. It's all conference play from here on out. Obviously, the midweeks to help us get ready for that and, find some more opportunities and some more pieces. So I think right now where we're at is kind of hey man, we got to get back to work. We got to stay encouraged of what's going on, and the good part about what's going on. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at this, I've been in this position before as a head coach. There was a year in 2022 we were sitting at 8-18 and 2-4 in conference play at Southeastern, and it's the first time I'd ever been in that situation at Southeastern. I'd been there for 15 years, and first time experiencing it to that degree. And I'll never forget sitting down with the AD at the time, and he's like, "Hey man, how you doing? You doing okay?" I was like, "Actually, coach, I'm doing all right, man." I said, "To be honest with you, because I'm watching how we're interacting, I'm watching our locker room, and I know we're gonna make this run here at the end. I've got some similarities with this group too, right? The maturity and the growth that we're having, and the fact that we're getting better as we go along in this, and then makes me encouraged to see if we can finish this thing off at the end of the season and be where we want to be." That season in 2022, we lost by 1 game the regular season title, but we ended up winning the tournament championship and went to another regional there in 2022 at Auburn. So again, very encouraged about that part of it. I think that's the optimism that's in me, right, as well, that there's still a lot of hope for us in this team and this club to be able to move forward. But it will be a challenging schedule going forward after we start with Arkansas State this weekend and South Florida this weekend.
Along that line, going back to the Tuesday game against Ole Miss, again, it's not a conference game, midweek game, but to beat a team like that, a program like that, a team that's got that number next to their name.
Yeah.
How much good does that just do in the locker room for guys, just for confidence, for just good vibes kind of around the team?
Yeah, I thought it was huge for us, to be honest with you. I thought we did a good job of carrying that momentum a little bit. I know we didn't win the weekend, but we're getting more consistent in our play and showing up of what we're doing, and therefore I think we're going to have more success moving forward. And so I thought it did a lot for us. That, hey, man, we're preaching it, right? But at some point in time, they've got to see some revelation in this, right? Something that's kind of laid out from like, okay, there's the fruit of our labor. There's all this, all this hard work we've been putting in, all this buy-in, all this say we've done. Where's the actual action that's resulting in this? And we talk about being process-driven and oriented, but you got to have some results at some point in time, right? That kind of correlate with it. I thought that's what Tuesday did for us to give us some hope, obviously, in moving forward.
You did something a little bit unusual. Not that you pitched a number of your guys, but you had a set plan. You were pitching basically these 7 guys, and some were going to pitch 3 outs, some were going to pitch 6 outs, and you stayed with that plan against the 18th ranked team in the nation. And for the man, with each man that went out there, each one came through. You got to be very proud about some of these guys who are deeper on your deeper on your staff, don't get maybe the playing time. They're out there facing a team that's nationally ranked, and they all did their job.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, just starting to manifest more of what we kind of envisioned right early the season when we started the season, what this would look like. And so for those guys to go out and have success, you always see the guys on social media like, yeah, they threw all the weekend guys against us. That's why they beat us. It's like, well, I don't think you checked our weekend stats, right? On what we're doing and who we're throwing. But yes, Carson Fair, we used our closer to finish off the game, which we rightly should have in that situation. But those guys, again, they did a great job of just using it as an opportunity. Hey, man, if you want more, you've got to go produce. I mean, that's just reality of it, man. I love those kids in that locker room. I love that dugout, and we've recruited these young men. They're great young men. But at some point in time, right, we got to get the job done. And for those guys who get that job done there on Tuesday and look at it that way, I thought was important for them. And then we got to do the same thing here against Arkansas State, right? And I mean, that's the thing. Like, hey, man, it's great you did last week, but what have you done for me lately, right? We've got to do a good job of repeating that and being a little more consistent with it.
So you lose the first game against Wichita State, but then, as you said, Saturday you run rule them 11-1. What were the good things and what led to that Saturday performance?
Yeah, just a persistence. And that's where the disappointment came in for Sunday, because I thought we got off to the right start. Again, nothing to show for it early, but man, we were one bounce here or there going this way or that way, where all of a sudden the thing was going to really open up for us. That happened for us on Saturday, right? Now I know we had the check swing double down the line with the bases loaded. Hey, man, sometimes ball finds its way, right? Great, fantastic.
You also had a bunch of line drives that were caught.
That's exactly right. It's just like a 107 down the line. But for Jimmy to come up right after and get the 2-out knock two to make it 5-1, that's the persistence that we were talking about, man. And we just did not find that there on Sunday. And if we could have found that there on Sunday, we're on the better end of that stick, right? We had the series win and we're sitting in a better situation, because overall I thought we pitched it well. I thought, Seth Henson, his start yesterday was fantastic for us. Charlie Smith, I thought, was good for us. He kept the ball on the ground just like we asked him to. He made one bad pitch, gave one base hit to left field. Outside of that, it was kind of just finding a hole here or there, and that's just kind of the way the game works sometimes. So for that part of it, I think our offense has got to do a good job of going a little bit better and stay a little bit more persistent. That's what we had there on Saturday.
Yeah, you're going to run into a hot pitcher that could shut you down, and we've seen a little bit more of that last year. But this year, I haven't seen that. It seems like you're doing pretty good job getting guys on base. At times not being able to knock them home, which was the difference on Sunday early. But it seems like you're getting these opportunities. There's not a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings where you're getting good swings. At least this is what I'm observing.
Right.
You're giving yourself a chance to win games. It's now just being able to get those clutch genes going.
Yep.
And if that happened, even Friday night, an opportunity to win that series easily, but moving forward is being able to do what you did on Saturday. Get them on the base, get them home.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, and you hit the nail on the head. I don't know what we're hitting with guys in scoring position, but if I went and looked at it, it's probably lower than our actual batting average, right?
Right.
You go through our lineup and you look at the starting lineup that running out there. I know, a guy like Cade Hitson's only played or started 10 to 12 games, whatever it is, but most of those guys are hitting over 300. Well, that's the first time in a long time you look at the lineup that's had majority of the lineup hitting over 300. Okay, what's this 300 look like, though, right? This is why this batting average can be so deceptive. And so you look at overall batting average, like, oh, great, yeah, he's hitting over 300. But he's just hitting 220 with a guy in scoring position. Like, well, that doesn't do us a whole lot of good. It's great to get on base, but we got to get guys in. I'd rather you hit 260, right, hit 220 with nobody on base, and hit 320 with guys in scoring position, and that way we'll score more runs. And so that's what we've got to get to match up. We've got to execute better, right? I think on Sunday that's where we weren't good. We didn't execute very well, right? We ran a couple hit and runs. We fouled them off, didn't get those done, and so didn't move the guys over and advance them like we should have, and some quality at bats. And so that end up biting us in the long run because, at the end of the day, as you score runs and the more runs you score, I can feel the dugout right behind me, right? I know the visitors' dugout behind me, and you can see how they're playing the game going, man, they're little concerned, right? Hey, man, you can hear the conversations being in the dugout. It's like, man, if we just throw this one little punch, we just move this guy just over this time, hey, man, you can feel the pressure of the dugout, and then we don't burst a pipe, right? We keep the pressure on the pipe. That makes sense, but we can't find a way to burst a pipe, and that's the game that we're losing and not having success and scoring more than 7 runs.
Obviously you can be on either side of it, but do you like the run rule, especially in play in college, especially in conference play?
Yeah, I do now. Old school, no, right? Because I wanted to get some guys opportunities and get them out there, right? But that's in all honesty, just the day and age with the amount of injuries, right, that happen nowadays with guys on the mound, especially once you get into conference play. Hey, man, once the game kind of gets to that point, gets extended, hey, let's play for it. Let's get it done with. Save those arms, right? We'll find more opportunities throughout the game. And just the college game's different. It's not the pro game, right? I'll never forget running up 9-0 in a seventh inning one time, and a head coach was mad at me for running. I'm like, what are you mad about? It's like, we got run rule. Like this is for me, this is a one run game. Hey, man, we score one more run, the ball game's over.
Exactly.
So, like, I don't understand why you're mad in this situation. Oh, and it's not going to happen. We're not going to come back. I'm like, you're damn right it's not going to happen because I'm not going to let it happen. We're going to run rule.
We're going to eliminate the possibility. Yeah,
exactly.
Within the rules, we're not doing anything outside the rules.
Right. Exactly right. So, I mean, that's part of the game. That's part of what it goes. But yes, personally, Eli, I do like the run rule. I think it's important for us.
Tigers Baseball Report with Matt Reiser, brought to you by Landers Nissan, Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, both located in South Haven. Make sure you check out the great cars there, the great service as well. Jeff Field and his team can take care of you at those two locations. Again, Landers Nissan, Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. You continue to run. It's fun to go watch this team, folks, because when you get a guy on base, they're stealing second base. They may be stealing third base. You had 7 steals Friday. You had 4. Originally it was 5, and they took one away on Saturday at 4. Not sure exactly how many you had on Sunday, but you're running and you're trying to, and that goes back to the point of you're getting guys in the scoring position. You got to get them home.
Right.
But that you put together a team this year that you knew you could do this. And it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and then we can hit the long ball too, right? And
there's no question.
I think that's what we've got to be able to blend together, where we were running Friday and Saturday and creating some havoc. We weren't able to do that as much as we wanted to on Sunday and execute some things. And then we hit the long ball on Sunday, right? You have a couple solo home runs. Like, man, let's hit the home run when the guy on base. Yes, right? Like,
Exactly.
We can manufacture, run around, and then manufacture a couple runs.
Funny how it works that way.
Exactly right. So need to kind of correlate those two together. But yeah, it is. It's a fun club to watch, and it's a fun offense to watch. I think we can have some high power guys in there, especially as we get healthy, right? I mean, the thing is, we're looking through this from 2, 3, 4 when you look at Cassidy, Jimmy, and Shane, and all of them have been beat up to where they can't run, right? I mean, Jimmy should be a 15 stolen base guy right about now. He can barely get down to first base with the quad stuff going on. Trey, same deal. He can be a 10 base guy by now, and he's just trying to manage what he's doing behind the plate. Same thing with Shug. So, once those guys get even healthier, we can run even at a higher level, which I think will create the pressure and then obviously help us score more runs ultimately when it's all said and done. The other good thing about this too, Greg, before we kind of finish up the segment, what I looked at this morning, I go to social media in the morning and try to, kind of check on some recruits, right? Just to see how the weekend went for them and see what they're kind of putting out there, right? This is helps us build a profile. And of course, I see my man Kendall Rogers written out about the RPI. Now, I've told people all the time, RPI will be on my tombstone when it's all said and done. Right? But,
so not RIP,
not RPI. RPI will be on my tombstone when it's all said and done. And I typically don't look at it about the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season, right? Because that's kind of where it starts to settle in, and the great movement, right, is kind of done. Because you still got your power forwards, are still playing each other now to kind of get that RPI back at where it's supposed to be. But in the short version of this, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I know we played a challenging schedule, and I pulled it up just out of curiosity. And I think this, again, kind of relates back to that 2022 season we talked about. We were sitting at 8-18, and people were going like, hey, man, what's the deal? Well, we played the number 6 non-conference schedule in the country. Mm-hmm. Once we got through conference play, it ended up being number 60 or 50, schedule out of 300-some teams in the country. Currently, right now, we got the 26th toughest non-conference schedule in the country, and our overall schedule, the schedule is 35.
Wow.
Yeah, out of 300-something teams. So that's where I take confidence in this. Hey, man, we haven't just played slouch competition. If Tulane would not have got swept this weekend, I think every single person we had played on our schedule would be above 500 right now, which is kind of rare, to be honest with you. So I think we've done a really good job of challenging ourselves, right? We haven't played at the level we want to play at, but the encouraging part about it is we've done that, we've gotten through that, and I think that just prepares us for what's to come here going down the back half of the year.
So what's the expectations kind of this week with Arkansas State and then the series against South Florida?
Yeah, Arkansas State, man, can really pitch. I mean, they're showing some power offensively, a little bit more than what they did in years past. Scoring a few more runs, but they can really pitch. That's been kind of Silva's MO, man. Those guys have always done a really good job, and they've got about 8 to 10 they rely on. They don't use 16 and 17 a whole lot. Hey, man, if you don't go get it done, Mike's gonna go get you out. He wants the guy to go in there and go compete and throw strikes, and so they've done a really good job of that in his entire tenure. When he was at Nichols, also in the Southland Conference with us, now here at Arkansas State, and that's built a lot of success for them for both places. And offensively, again, like I said, they got a little bit more power in there from that aspect of it. So it'll be up to our offense. I'm excited about the challenge for offense to go out there and do our thing, and those guys who didn't pitch this weekend to go out and do their thing. Right, we'll probably be in that same mode. Hey, man, 3 to 6 outs, go do your job. Next man in, especially with a shortened week. Right, we got South Florida starting on Thursday because of Easter. And we're going to probably keep our rotation the same. I don't really want to shorten up Howell in case. We've already done it once this year. I don't want to do it a second time and then kind of repeat it again. Let those guys, they're starting to settle in those 2 spots. Let them settle in on Friday and Saturday in Game 2 and Game 3 against South Florida. So we got to figure out Thursday. So I think that's kind of the caveat we've got to figure out in our staff meeting this morning is, hey, who are we going to open up with on Tuesday and kind of work out who are we going to save and not throw and then try to throw on Thursday, because Tuesday and Thursday might look kind of similar in what we do from that aspect of it.
All right, your pitcher and hitter of the week.
Yeah, pitcher of the week's got to be David Case, man. I just thought the start he had there on Saturday was fantastic and did a really, really good job of what he was able to do of commanding the zone without just elite stuff. And he really pitched, right?
He was terrific.
He really was. Really did a really good job. And I think that goes back to, in such a day and age, we talk about velocity. Hey, man, the guys who can pitch are the guys who win. You can throw 95 now, and it doesn't really matter. If you can't pitch, you're probably going to give up some runs, right? Whether free passes or throw a ball down the middle 95. Guys can whack that nowadays. So really proud of David Case and what he was able to do for us. Man, hitter of the week. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know. I'm sitting here trying to think through our offense and what we went through. I've watched some video on some guys. I thought Freddie Rodriguez is probably.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like, if you think about offensive player of the week instead of hitter of the week, right?
Yeah.
What he did holistically. I know he had the home run and double yesterday, but his ability to be able to get on base the day before, right, and steal bags and take bases, I think it's a no-brainer that I've got to go with Freddie Rodriguez as offensive player of the week.
Yeah, I think he had a couple hits on Saturday, right?
He did. Yep,
yeah, so he had a great week and all the stolen bases and all that good stuff. All right, so Arkansas State at home on Tuesday, which ends the 5-game homestand. 3 games against South Florida, Thursday, Friday, Saturday on the road. The next Tuesday, you'll be heading to Arkansas State, to Jonesboro for the return game. We'll talk about that and everything else when you join us next Monday. So safe travels. Happy Easter to you as well.
Happy Easter to you guys as well. Greg, Eli, appreciate you always, and go Tigers go.
That is Matt Reiser, the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. Again, brought to you by the great folks at Landers Nissan and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, both in South Haven, Mississippi. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show?
No!
Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Haven, #1 in Memphis. $13,000 off MSRP on new Jeep Wranglers during Landers Truck Month, our biggest truck and SUV sale of the year. Visit LandersDodge.com. Hurry, $13,000 off won't last during the Declaration of Deals sales event. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Based on 2025 Memphis Metro CDGR new car retail sales. Example, new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-wheel drive Sahara, stock number 25J0101, MSRP $57,020, Landers discount $13,000, sale price $44,020, price plus tax title license $425 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offered 3/31/26.
This is Julie Molay-Mary, and I'm with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I wanted to dispel any rumors about Sheldon Rosengarten, also with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, being the worst golfer in town. Is that what you wanted me to say, Sheldon?
Yes, Julie, with your stellar career in real estate in Florida and now here, and you also being the Florida Girls State High School champion, in addition to playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I know people would want your opinion about my golf game.
Well, Sheldon, it's a good thing you're great at real estate, because your golf game is underwater, where most of your golf balls end up.
Thanks a lot. You know, people often say that when you want the job done, you call Sheldon.
Yes, but they also say that if someone is wanting to sell a home or buy one, I make it easy. So they call Julie Molimeri at 305-0112.
Got it. And you can reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.
Sometimes an idea comes along that fills a void nobody even knew existed, and a few years ago, one of those ideas was Sunrise. We didn't know that Memphis had been waiting for a place that serves the freshest, fastest, made-to-order breakfast, and lunch, for that matter. And then Sunrise on Jefferson opened, and we all realized that's what we'd been waiting for. And now, we also have Sunrise East on Poplar, because we needed that too. Both Sunrise locations provide the delicious food we've been craving, and now we can get, and we can only get, at Sunrise.
Landers Nissan in South Haven says, new Rogues, 0% APR available, 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. It's Landers Truck Month. Don't miss our biggest truck and SUV sale of the year. Visit LandersNissan.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Nissan Motor Acceptance Corporation. Minimum monthly payment of $16.67 a month for every $1,000 finance, regardless of down payments. Interest accrues from inception. Example: new 2026 Nissan Rogue SV. Stock number 26N0023. MSRP $32,200. Dealer discount $1,600. Sale price $30,600. Price plus tax, title, license, $425 processing fee. Offerings 3/31/26.
It's time for the ultimate Hot Wing Showdown at the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival, Saturday, April 18th at the Memphis River Garden Park on Riverside Drive. See over 60 teams fighting for Hot Wing supremacy, along with live blues, soul, and rock and roll, all in support of the Ronald McDonald House at the St. Jude Walk. It's a sizzling day of fiery flavors, live music, and family fun, and you're invited. Get your tickets now at worldwingfest.com. Sponsored by RS Financial Group, ATC Fitness, Road Warrior Staffing, and Universal Access. This is your delicious chance to make a difference.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So the University of Memphis has released a statement now on the additions to Coach Penny Hardaway's staff, confirming that story that was out earlier from Bluff City Media. They first had it on the additions of Sean Mock and Trevor Deloche as assistant coaches. And also, as expected, and this news basically came out yesterday, but I think people knew this for several weeks now, that Tony Madlock, as soon as he stepped down from his job at Alabama State as head coach, was going to join Penny's staff as associate head coach, and that is the case. Here are some quotes. First from Coach Hardaway on Tony. I'm excited about the experience and energy Tony brings. Tony's deep Memphis ties and head coaching success, combined with Sean and Trevor's proven ability to develop players and recruit at a high level, make this a strong addition to our staff as we continue building toward our ultimate goal of postseason success. What's interesting is we still believe that there will be some general manager hired, but both of these coaches, Mock and Deloche, have that experience, as Penny said in his quote, about developing players and recruiting players. I'll give you a little bit more on Mock. He served as an assistant coach for 7 seasons at Tulane, but also was their director of recruiting. Again, I'm not sure if he was the guy who brought in Brumbaugh, which they spell Rumball here in the release, but Rowan Brumbaugh, because he would be a nice addition if Memphis could add him. Deloche had recent stops at Charlotte and UTSA. He focused on recruiting and player development and helped produce multiple all-conference performers. He spent 2 seasons at Nichols, including time as associate head coach before that. So again, you got guys with that kind of background, Eli, joining the staff, but I still believe that the goal is to bring in a GM type. But again, you got guys that can really do a good job in helping recruiting, but both with ties to the actual American Conference. And then, of course, Tony Madlock with his ties to Memphis, having been an assistant previously under Coach Penny Hardaway and a former Tiger player.
Yeah, hopefully these guys can come in. And again, a couple of guys who are kind of outside that family, that circle of Penny Hardaway, some new voices. Hopefully they are able to come in and have recruiting success and everything else. And again, get the program back on track and back at the top of the American Conference, and not have another year like we just witnessed, which was just absolutely horrendous.
I would love to know from our listeners out there what you consider to be the greatest shot in NCAA tournament history after watching what Braylon Mullins did for Connecticut to win the game, 0.4 to go, hitting that 35-footer, that absolute miracle finish for UConn to come from behind to knock off Duke with everything that was on the line, including a trip to the Final Four. Where does that shot stack up in the history of the NCAA tournament? Would love to hear from you on that. You can hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines by texting in at 901-360-8255. Of course, if you got anything on your mind in the world of sports, we can talk about that as well. As you can call us at 901-360-8255. A couple of other notes. We're going to talk a little Major League Baseball as well. But from the NFL, former NFL star defensive back Joey Browner passed away at the age of 65, a stud at USC. He was drafted in 1983, six-time Pro Bowler, three-time first-team All-Pro selection. Joey Browner dead at the age of 65. And from the PGA Tour, we talked Tiger Woods, of course, and that situation. But Gary Woodland won at the Texas U.S. Open over the weekend by 5 strokes. He was the U.S. Open winner and hadn't won since. A guy who has been dealing with brain surgery and the ramifications of having brain surgery, issues that have certainly altered not only his golf game but his life. To be able to deal with that, to battle back Eli, and to win a tournament and win in convincing fashion, that is one of the feel-good stories, certainly, of the last several years on the PGA Tour.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome for him. Can't imagine what he's gone through with the brain tumor. And then, just recently kind of coming out talking about, PTSD basically that he has and has been going through, and how tough it has been on him. And then to go out there and win, just absolutely incredible. The emotion, everything else. I mean, it just poured out. That's one. It's hard not to feel great for him. If some of the stories that have been done on him, just about the brain surgery and everything else, and the recovery from that to get back to this level, and then again with the PTSD and everything else, probably figured I would assume, probably thought he would never be able to get back to the winner's circle. You just don't know. And to do that, that's just an absolutely tremendous story.
Major League Baseball, the first weekend of the regular season is now in the books, and certainly some interesting moments, as you expect from all those games, including the Los Angeles Dodgers, who for 3 straight games against the Arizona Diamondbacks fell behind 2-0 and rallied each game to win. So a quick look after the first weekend of play in Major League Baseball, a quick look at the standings, and already the Dodgers have a 3-game lead over 3 of the 4 teams in the division and a 2-game lead over the second place Padres. Not a good start for teams not named the Dodgers in the NL West. The Padres 1-2, the Diamondbacks 0-3 with the 3 losses to the Dodgers, the Rockies 0-3, and Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants, the former Vols head coach, 0-3 as they lost 3 to the Yankees.
Yeah, and only scored 1 run.
Wow.
That's the tough part for San Francisco, is the offense non-existent in their first 3 games of the year. But I believe there's time to recover.
159 more games.
I think there's time.
Also, the Blue Jays set a new Major League Baseball record for strikeouts by a pitching staff in the first 3 games of the season. They struck out 50 Oakland A's in 3 games. 5-0.
It's pretty good for them. Not so good for Oakland.
A's got some hitters, too. They struck out 50. One of the reasons why I really love this Blue Jays team. Elsewhere, you had some great individual starts to the season. First of all, for the Cleveland Guardians, they had a guy by the name of Chad DeLauder. Get ready to know his name, because this rookie, or Chase DeLauder, I don't even know his name yet. Chase DeLauder hit 4 home runs in the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that people have been looking at, one of the top prospects out there, and certainly a pretty good start to his season, that's for sure.
Well, he's one of only a handful of players to hit a home run in his first 3 big league games. Again, he hit 4. But there was also another player who did that. The rookie Murakami from Japan, who plays for the White Sox. So there was a bright moment for the White Sox. His first name, I don't know. Munetaka Murakami is what I'm going with until I'm corrected. He hit a home run in each of his first 3 games. Unfortunately for the Pale Hose, 3 losses to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Now for DeLauder, it's his first 3 regular season games, but he did play postseason games last year.
Okay, regular season games. I forgot he played. I saw that name and I go, that rings a bell. Did he play? Did not know that, but his first regular season games. And again, he's one of only just a few to homer in the first 3 games of the season. And then you had the guy from Japan. Of course, these Japanese imports, they're all over Major League Baseball and making an absolute impact, obviously led by Shohei Ohtani. Anything else stand out for you from the weekend in baseball?
Not a whole lot. I didn't get the chance to watch a whole bunch of baseball. Watched a little bit of my Cubs, again, losing 2 out of 3. I was happy to see Cade Horton back on the mound on Saturday and pitching very well for them. That's huge to see for the Cubbies. Bregman able to hit a couple of home runs yesterday, but in a losing effort. But, the one that was, if the Yankees could get that type of pitching, again, holding San Francisco to only 1 run in 3 games, the Yankees will be very difficult to beat because we know the offense is going to produce.
Angels and the Astros actually have played 4 games. They played against each other, 4-game series. They split. Mike Trout homered in his first couple of games, made an unbelievable catch in one of the games. The question is, can he stay healthy? It won't matter. The Angels will still be bad because they have to be. That's a rule. But to have a healthy Mike Trout, who's not a spring chicken anymore. He's not old, but with all those injuries, it seems like he is. Can he stay healthy for the majority of the season? That's a question that we ask a lot of guys like guy for the Yankees, Stanton. We always ask about, Stanton. Can he stay healthy? Can Trout stay healthy? Those are questions that we always ask. The Cardinals ended up taking 2 of 3 from the Rays. They lost the getaway game 11-7. Diaz had 5 hits in that game for the Rays in the game on Sunday. But good start for the Cardinals. Offensively, I thought they would really struggle. Maybe it's because they're playing the Rays and there's not high expectation for the Rays. But the Cardinals have scored 9, 6, and 7 in the 3 games. So offensively, they're doing some good things. Rangers got a win over the Phillies to salvage one in that 3-game series. Mackenzie Gore, who was my pick for the American League Cy Young Award winner, 7 strikeouts in his first start, making his Texas debut. So there you go. Some of the highlights from Major League Baseball to open up the season. Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis, a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. This is the system that Steph Curry has used, Klay Thompson has used, others have used around, because this is not just in Memphis, it's all around the country, Shoot 360. And they have used this method. Here in Memphis at the 2 locations, Thaddeus Young is one of the owners of Shoot 360 Memphis, a 17-year NBA career. So you have the backing of NBA players, and if they're using it and they enjoy the system and they like what the results are, you're going to like it as well. Especially you're going to like that you can join for just a month. Just a month. You're not going to sign some long-term year or annual contract, 2-year contract, anything like that. You will not be bogged down with this long-term deal. Month to month to try it out, to see if you like it, and I think you will. They're in Cordova, 50,000 square foot facility. It's got 2 NBA regulation size courts, 3 high school size courts, 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. That's the big boy. You can call them at 779-3176
or just go visit them on Big Orange Road, get the tour. The original in Collierville still has those shooting bays, and that's what it's all about. Getting into one of those shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology, the instant analytical feedback. They're at 85 Market Street. That number is 901-316-5500. You can become a member at both of the locations if you like. Also, they will host birthday parties at the Cordova location. Real fun for the little ones to get out there and just learn. The coaches will hang out there with them. They'll set up the passing. The passing is really cool. That's where the gamification comes in. They got these boards, and the kids are hitting the targets and they're scoring points, so they're having fun and being active as opposed to just sitting, on their backsides and playing video games. They get out there, they're active. They've also have the ability to host birthday parties and things of that nature, as I mentioned. So take advantage of it. Call them for more information. The future of basketball training is here. It's called Shoot 360 Memphis. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hey everybody, great news. All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch is hosting a huge truck month sale. Supplier prices for everyone. Save thousands. Nobody has more Silverados than All-Star. Today, you could drive home a new Equinox, Trailblazer, Trax, Blazer, or go big with a new Silverado HD and make no payments for 90 days. You're going to love no payments all through the spring and into the summer, and financing as low as 1.9. And your good credit deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. So test drive one of these barely driven, certified, or pre-owned All-Star Chevys. You're not going to find any more in the same place at the same time anywhere. Guaranteed. Tahoes, Suburbans, Chevy Express passenger van, tons of Silverados. Plus, bring any vehicle you want and sell it here at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the truck month sale going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Taking care of families isn't new to us. It's what we've done across the Mid-South since 1958. Now celebrating 68 years in business, Choate's is still family-owned, award-winning, and committed to doing things the right way. With honest service, expert technicians, and industry-leading warranties that bring real peace of mind. To celebrate, we're offering our $68 deals. Get our $68 early bird AC tune-up special, or just need Freon to get you cooling, get $68 off per pound. If your system is struggling, don't wait for it to fail on the hottest day of the year. Upgrade today and get up to $2,000 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on select Carrier systems. Plus, enjoy 60 months no interest financing on new HVAC systems, generators, or tankless water heaters. Call Choates at 347-8086 or visit HVAC.com today. And remember, let our family serve your family.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfit. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning! On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So we opened the show obviously talking about the Final Four, which is now set. Michigan, Arizona, 2 number 1 seeds on Saturday. Arizona is a 1.5-point underdog. Number 3, Illinois. Number 2, UConn. In the other semifinal, UConn, a 2.5-point underdog. After UConn won the best game of the weekend, the best game in many years, I believe, as far as drama is concerned. One of the greatest shots of all time, and I've asked that question, where does that rank as far as greatest shots in NCAA history? But as I said, if you were listening at the beginning of the show, and if you weren't, I'll tell you right now, that obviously with games like that, when a team can come back from 19 down to win a game, you give a lot of credit for that team to come back. But there's also certainly teams that are giving away wins. It's usually a combination. To me, this one was more Duke collapsing than Connecticut taking it from them. All you had to do was look at that last play. All they had to do was hold on to the ball. It's not like they had to make a shot. You could have thrown the ball up to the rafters and they would have won the game. They choked the game away. So that's the way I look at it. How do you look at that? How do you look at that shot? 901-360-8255. Elvis is dialed in. Elvis, how are you?
Hey, it shows you how long I've been out of circulation. Your screener thought my name was Elvis.
He'll learn who you are.
Anyway, there are many absolutes in this world, but the absolute best NCAA tournament shot was Christian Laettner against Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one that certainly I brought up in hour number 1. That's the one I think most people remember. Bryce Drew's shot they remember. Jalen Suggs' shot they remember. But this one is going to go down in history. You're talking about Duke giving up that shot, giving up the play after the turnover, the kid making it from 35 feet.
Why do you say that Laettner's was better than, say, this one?
They in the Final Four, there's 3 seconds left, and you either win or don't go. That's why I say it. Plus, how in the hell did he get that open?
Well, yeah, I mean, the pass, when you add in the pass, everything else, like it becomes even, it makes that better.
Pelfrey don't know how to play defense. That's all.
Thanks, Elvis. Appreciate it. Remind me, that was to get to the final?
That was in the Final Four, right? I believe that was,
it's the semifinal to get to the final?
No, that was the Laettner.
No, that was the Elite Eight. That was the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four.
Okay, so that was Elite. So it was a similar situation.
Yeah.
Elite Eight to get to the Final Four.
I think the thing that always stands out for me with Laettner is that he was perfect from the field and the line that day.
Yeah, and look, certainly Elvis's point is well taken because that's the one I would pick. But he said, he had to win it or you go home. It's the same situation there.
It really was.
For Connecticut?
Yeah.
This was the only, somebody had posted the list that there's been like in the Elite Eight, I remember, I think it was like 6 or 7 game-winning shots in the final second or whatever. This was the only one that was a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
All the others have been 2-point shots. So, I mean, again, the play overall to get the pass to Laettner and everything else, the shot itself, I mean, this dude's 35 feet away.
Right.
This is a higher degree of difficulty.
He's at the logo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at the logo and just on an instant swing, like the Laettner play was that design play.
Exactly.
This
was just like,
whim.
oh crap, we got the ball all of a sudden, and it ends up in your hands 35 feet, and you got to shoot it, and you make it. Like that, to me, the shot here is better.
Right. Look, the play was designed. It was still stunning that they were able to execute it, right?
Yeah.
But
This was an absolute combustion. This was an implosion.
Yeah.
Nobody thought in their right mind that there wouldn't be at least a foul committed and they would be shooting free throws.
Right.
Nobody thought they would bobble it the way they did, make a boneheaded pass, trying to go over top two guys who jump, and then a kid hitting a 35-footer at the buzzer, basically?
And if we envision this scenario, what we would envision was the foul taking place and the free throws being missed to allow that to come about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you were going to say that somehow UConn was going to hit a game-winning shot, you would never think of it being as a turnover. But no, I mean, he was basically throwing a hand grenade.
There you go.
And had to launch and hits that to win a game. That's the thing. Like, there's been, the kid from Northern Iowa years ago hit the half-court shot to win a game.
Yeah,
but that was, I think, a first-round game.
Yeah, that was the first
so
round.
it's like,
Suggs hit that shot and
how
then
do
he
you
jumped up on the
compare that
table.
versus a game that takes you to the Final Four? Again, like making a half-court shot is...
And it's against Duke.
And it's against Duke,
Just adds
so
to it, right?
that helps.
And
well, Northern Iowa was what against?
Texas.
Yeah,
that one
was the other one that beat
twice.
Kansas. They beat Kansas, but that wasn't a half-court shot. That was like a normal shot.
Just a normal jumper, yeah.
How about the fact that Caravan, who you would think would take that shot, knew that he was getting double-teamed. They were converging on him and had the right mind to throw it back to the kid who was part of
where he can step
deflection.
right into the jumper
It's
cleanly.
just, I mean, again, a lot of it's luck, obviously, when you do a play like that. The whole sequence to have that happen, it's like a 1 in a million.
In the Caravan play, like you mentioned, the whole setup and, pretty much catching the trailer, that took me back to Chris Jenkins.
Yeah.
Because when Chris Jenkins' play was like, you always, in that situation, you always make sure to cover the trailer because of that reason.
Somebody texted, said the shot was unbelievable. The entire 10 seconds was just hard to believe, no matter how many times you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, like you'll never understand what the hell Caden Boozer was doing. Nobody will ever in their life figure out why he felt the need to do that. It could have done anything else with the basketball other than that, and they probably win the game. Fleet Feet, that's the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you. Go see the folks at Fleet Feet at either the East Memphis location, that's in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, out in Collierville, Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to Huey's out there. Either one of the two locations, they can take care of you, taking a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and fitting you with shoes that are just right for you, plus all your other gear, anything you need. They're all about runners. They're all about the running community. That's what it's about at Fleet Feet. You can also find them online, fleetfeetmemphis.com, or on social media, where they keep you up to date with what's going on in the running community, things they've got going on, things that you can get involved with the folks at Fleet Feet.
If you were hoping to see Dylan the Villain tonight with the Phoenix Suns, not going to happen. He's close to returning, but he will not be available tonight to for Phoenix, as the Suns will take on the Memphis Grizzlies. Suns at 41-33, the Grizzlies at 25-49. If you missed the news from the weekend, Jalen Wells now done for the year officially. Fracture in his right big toe, and he will undergo a procedure. So the hits just keep on coming.
Right great toe.
The right great toe. Formerly the right big toe. Now the right great toe.
The other thing, too, about Duke is 3 losses this year, and they had a double-digit lead in every one of those games. Like, they could be on their way to a historic situation. We could be looking at an undefeated Duke team in the Final Four. They've blown 3 double-digit leads this year.
It's tough to swallow for them because they lost the same way pretty much every time. And then it's like the Texas Tech one I can get with, because that's a really good basketball team on a neutral floor. I can understand that. When the Carolina game, they're going to kick themselves for. But this one, they're going to lose sleep.
And they lost the went out of the NCAA, the Final Four game last year.
Right.
They had a 15-point lead in that game and lost it to Houston.
And people are really like clamoring on Shire for that, but I'm like, you know what, y'all? His players are failing him in those scenarios. You know better. It's like if the people at home understand that situation and know what to do, these high IQ basketball players know what to do.
I wonder what was said to
Well, he was trying to get them to advance the ball up, so he had the error there. I chalked it up with Ty Golden last week, like, why are you pressing? Just the great coaches making dumb errors at the end of the game.
How many freshmen in the rotation for Duke? Just the Boozers? Who else are freshmen?
Dame Sarr.
Sarr's a freshman?
Yeah, he was a freshman. Isaiah's a sophomore.
I mean, think about Connecticut, though. The kid
Braylon.
makes the winning shot as a freshman.
He's freshman, right.
But you have veteran players, and you got a leader there.
This is why I call this
Caravan.
tournament the grown man tournament, because you can have all those star-studded freshmen, but when you get to this stage, those veterans are going to pretty much. Your freshmen can be a part of that, but you got to have those vets.
Bingo. Hey, everybody, great news. All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch is hosting a huge truck month sale. Supplier prices for everyone. You can save thousands. Nobody has more Silverados than All-Star. Today, you can drive home in a new Equinox, a Trailblazer, a Trax, a Blazer. You can go big in a new Silverado HD. Make no payments for 90 days. You're going to love no payments all through spring and the summer. And financing is low as 1.9% because your good credit deserves it. Military, first responders, you always get an extra $500 bonus. If you're looking for pre-owns, barely driven pre-owns, certified Chevys, they got them for you. They have a ton of them. Tahoes, Suburbans, even a Chevy Express passenger van. Silverados, oh yeah, they have them. Bring any vehicle you want to sell to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and get the most money for it today. So together, let's drive. Time is winding down, but still it's going on. It's the Truck Month Sale. It's going on in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. That'll do it for us today. I want to thank Matt Reiser for joining us on the program. We're back tomorrow starting bright and early at 7 a.m. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Monday, everybody.